You're looking live at a rainy and misty Raider Valley on the campus of Walton High School in Marietta, Georgia, and home to the 6-2 Walton Raiders. Tonight, the Raiders celebrate senior night, but more importantly, host the undefeated Roswell Hornets. Roswell enters the Valley with a perfect 8-0 record and is tied for the lead in Region 6 with Lassiter. Hello, everyone. I'm Kurt Schreiner, and welcome back to another broadcast of Walton Raider football on Raider Vision Gamecast. It's simple tonight, folks. The Raiders need a win. Simple as that. Win and they enter the state playoffs, lose, and the picture begins to get a bit more complicated. The Raiders have suffered a pair of difficult defeats the past 2 weeks at the hands of the spread option at Centennial, and last week here at Raider Valley, the Lassiter Trojans and their aerial show put 42 points on the Raiders. Things do not get any easier this evening. The Hornets, in their perfect record, have averaged 43 points over the past 4 games, and they defeated Milton last week 34-14. But the good news is that the Raiders always play the Hornets tough. The past 5 years, the Raiders are 4-1 against the Hornets, including huge upsets in 2007 and 2005 of nationally and state-ranked Hornets teams. The last time in Raider Valley, the Hornets left 13-10 losers in 2007 after being ranked number 1 in Georgia and number 10 in the country. And we are all hoping for some of that Raider Valley magic tonight. Well, as always, I'm joined in the booth tonight with Kirk Gadabush as our color man and spotter Trevor Miller. And Kirk, tonight, the Hornets run an offense that's pretty similar to Walton's. It's a good bit of balance, strong desire to run the football, but they're going to go to the air with their big players, Hickman, Hughes, and their receivers, Boyd and Smith.
Kurt, you're exactly right. They're a lot more balanced. Unlike Lassiter last week, they lead with the run, then they pass. There's a couple keys to tonight's game. One is they have to stop the run. Their offensive line is supposed to be on the small side, so I think penetration from the defensive line is going to be extremely important. Secondly, we have to establish the run. That's a key to our to set up the pass for us. And thirdly, don't give up the big play. We really have to focus a lot more on our tackling, which was at times a little spotty last week. We need to really focus on that, make some key, strong tackling. Let's see how they respond after 2 tough losses here.
Well, the Hornets bring an offensive attack with their senior quarterback, number 14, Brian Hickman. Their running back, number 29, Keegan Hughes, are going to be 2 players we're going to see a lot of tonight, Kirk. And then the receivers, Boyd and Smith, who are number 80 and number 35. So Raider fans, when you're watching the game tonight, those are going to be the 4 players you want to watch. Chris Boyd, the wide receiver, number 80, is, I think, a Vanderbilt commit. Will be attending Vanderbilt with Walton Raider player Kyle Westman. Defensively, Kirk, Coach Hidalgo in his pregame show the other night, we've got the national anthem on going here, folks. We're going to take a pause here for a minute. Well, folks, we wanted to take a break there while the Walton band played the national anthem. We're 3 minutes away from kickoff. Tonight we have a very, very busy Raider Valley. The game is being broadcast on CSS on cable television, but we welcome all of our viewers here on Raider Vision Gamecast. And then we also have 790 The Zone, I believe, here tonight, Kirk, doing the game on the radio. So a lot of attention always paid to this game. Walton versus Roswell is one of the bigger rivalries in the state. It seems to have had a lot of implications on state rankings in the last 5 or 6 years. But as we talked about earlier, the Raiders are 4-1 against the Hornets the last 5 years. And there's no reason to not think that right now with the Raiders' ground game that we can't, control the ball, Kirk, and try to take home a victory here and guarantee that playoff spot again for Walton.
Well, you're right, Kurt. This is a high-exposure game. This is a big one for us, obviously. You were talking a little bit about the defense. We've given up 24 points for the year per game. They've only given up 13. It's not apples and apples, but if you look at it, we've given up more points. So we've got to really control the line of scrimmage, keep the ball, and obviously don't give up as many points as them.
Well, you know, Roswell comes in with that very explosive offense, and Coach Hidalgo talked about yesterday their running back, you know, Mr. Keegan. Keegan Hughes is going to put some pressure on us, and he is a breakaway tailback. He's only a junior, but in years past we've seen Roswell come to Raider Valley with these kind of strong running games, and we've been able to shut them down. But you made the point earlier, Kirk, we have got to tackle better tonight, or we're going to be in a lot of trouble with this strong running game that Roswell brings.
Well, we've got a lot on our hands. They don't have to win like we have to win. So they still have to play Lassiter at the end of the year. Our only game left is at Pope. So this is a key game for us. So we do not want to have to wait till the last game of the season to figure out where we're going.
Well, Roswell and Lassiter are both undefeated in the region. They play each other next week. Walton has 2 losses, but is the only 2-loss team right now in the region. So if we win tonight, the Raiders are in the playoffs. If they lose, it does get a little bit more complicated, and I don't even know if we have time to get into that tonight. But we're awaiting the captains here. It has been senior night earlier tonight. We saw 32 Walton Raider football players, all the band seniors as well as the cheerleaders and the football senior student staff. So we've had a very busy night here at Walton already, and we're waiting for the kickoff. CSS has got us scheduled to kick off tonight at 7:36. So you're going to see Kurt and Kirk do some filling of time here, but the captains ought to be out here in a couple of minutes. As we talked about earlier, you know, the simple math around Walton Raider football right now is they need to run the ball. Kyle Vorster has 695 yards rushing this year. Our quarterback, Joey Windler, has 651 yards rushing. But in the air, we've also got a pair of great receivers right now. Patrick Cosgrove with 29 catches and Braylon Williams with 28 catches. And if you look at Windler's numbers, I think, Kirk, I saw that he's got something along the lines of 12 touchdown passes and only 5 interceptions. So he has a great ratio on that front, too. And that's surprising to a lot of people that Joey has been so good in the air.
I tell you, he's been very versatile. It'd be tough to replace him because obviously he'll get the ball and take off, too. But when we set him up for the run, we got 2 great receivers, and that'll help out as well. One thing, you mentioned the band. We really need to recognize the Walton band. They won't be on the field tonight again because of the conditions here, but they've done us well. They're at a big competition tomorrow at the Dome, going to the Rose Bowl. What else can you ask for a top-notch band?
Well, one of the things you always notice is that when we go on the road, our fans travel well, but our band is always there. And, our players and when you talk to the players, they respond to that band and they respond to the students. They know that they're out there, and it's a big deal to have a group of students in a band that is that supportive of your players. Well, the Walton players are forming under the south end zone goalpost, and they're wearing their black jerseys again tonight, I believe. They are indeed, and the cheerleaders are getting ready with the banner. It's a busy, busy night here, folks. The press box tonight is full of people, as well as many luminaries in addition to Kurt and Trevor. We've got Brian Jordan in the stands tonight, and Veron Haynes is here today. Somebody saw him as well, sporting one of his Super Bowl rings as well. So the Roswell versus Walton game brings out the stars.
You think they'll be listening to this broadcast after the game?
Oh, I'm sure that most people now that they know that we're on the air, they've probably switched over.
Yeah, just cut out that radio broadcast and come right over here to the internet.
The weather, as I mentioned, folks, is misty. If you look at the lights, you've got kind of a mist blowing through the air. And the field is going to be slick. It's going to be very, very slick. But the field has held up relatively well, Kirk, through the monsoons that we've had the last couple of weeks. But it is going to affect play tonight. Well, tonight, the seniors are going to lead the team through the banner. And we hear from our producer, Pete English, that Brandon Burrows has dressed out tonight as a senior. Hasn't been able to play all year because of the knee injury, but Brandon is going to lead the team through the banner, and a chance for number 23 to to run on the on the field here at Raider Valley as a senior, Kirk, and boy, we could have used him last week for some pressure from the outside.
Sure could have. I think it's a nice gesture to have him come in on senior night and lead the team as well.
I'm sure Coach Rick is happy to see him run through the banner, but I don't think Coach Rick would be happy to see him run onto the field.
Yeah, especially when it's slick out there. So be safe, Brandon. We've had some nasty weather here. Seems like on Friday nights we get rain. So hopefully it'll hold up and at least not rain during the game.
Well, the Hornets captains are entering through the gate at the south end zone, and we should get a coin toss here any moment now.
80, 58, 4, and 30, 35, 35, 44, 80, and 58. Get that?
What's that?
The Roswell captains are number 80, Chris Boyd, number 58, Tyler Verzal, number 35, Duval Smith, and number 44, John Dorsett. And the Hornets are entering their sideline. They brought a pretty good crowd here tonight. And the Raiders waiting patiently to enter through the banner. We're going to get that dreaded little man with the orange gloves standing on the sideline tonight, Kirk, as we wait for the TV game to come back from commercial. But Trevor assures us that he has enough material to hand us tonight that we'll stay keep you all occupied as you watch this game on Raider Vision Gamecast.
Yeah, please be patient out there while they deal with the timeouts here.
Well, the last time that the Raiders played Roswell here at Raider Valley, the game was on CSS, and the Raiders were victorious 13-10. Billy Burns with a long punt return, and young man I know had a couple of big field goals to lead the Raiders to victory over what was then the number 10 ranked nationally Roswell Hornets, and that was the 2007 season when the Raiders had that run to the Dome in the semifinals. So, yeah, this is the kind of game, Kirk, where if you get a big win against Roswell, you go into Pope next week and take care of business. You've got all the momentum you need going into the playoffs, and frankly, the playoffs are just that. They're about momentum. Qualify for the playoffs, and then take it one game at a time.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. We've got to take it one at a time. Don't worry about Pope yet. Let's see how we play out here and just play hard, tackle hard. Kyle Vorster, you mentioned him as one of our lead rushers. He was out the second half of the last game and not quite sure what it was. And Joey was out for the first series and came back. He got banged up just before halftime.
Well, it's uncanny when you look at Vorster and Windler's stats. They average 5.3 and 5.2 yards a carry. I mentioned earlier, Kyle has 695 yards rushing. Joey has 651. And then you see Rodney Gazebue with 43 rushes with a 7.7 yard average. Kyle 6 touchdowns, Joey 12, and Rodney 2. So we've got a very prolific running attack, and one that is going to be critical, as we've said here before. In the air, Joey is 62% passer, 69 completions out of 111 attempts, 1,066 yards with 11 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So a great, pretty good passer ratio. And for a quarterback that everybody early in the season was focused on Kirk as a run quarterback, around that Milton game and that Alpharetta game, Joey really started showing people I'm a quarterback that can play both ends of this.
I'm amazed at the skill level because last year he was playing on defense and wasn't even playing quarterback, and coming in for his senior year, more than an adequate year.
One other player worth mentioning with Roswell is their kicker, number 15, senior Richie Leone. Richie is committed to Houston, and he's a very good kicker. And these games have all been close the last couple of years. Walton has the better end of it. The only time the Hornets have won was at Roswell a couple of years ago.
So if he's going to Houston, he'll get a lot of chance to kick the ball because they score a lot of points.
Lots of PATs.
Yep.
Last year the Raiders won 28-21 at Roswell. The year before, the Raiders won 13-10. The only loss in the last 5 years is a 21-7 loss in 2006 at Roswell. But a lot of good memories here. The Raiders hold a big advantage in the overall series against the Hornets. So this is a rivalry that has been a consistent rivalry. I know a lot of people talk about the Lassiter rivalry because it's come on here the last couple of years. But if you've been following Raider football for the last 7 or 8 years, the Hornets are the team that you had to beat to win the region.
48, 16, 23, and 27. 48, 23, 16, 27.
Your Raider captains coming out of the field, number 48, Brooks Tilley, number 23, Brandon Burrows, number 16, Joey Windler, and number 27, Andrew Lipsy. Kirk, you can kind of feel it. It's Roswell versus Walton tonight. TV with CSS.
And great to have all the seniors out on the field, too.
You can see that the Raiders have a number of seniors with 32 seniors, and we'll try to read all of their names off here tonight. Coin toss taking place right now, and you can see some representatives from the U.S. Marine Corps with the players tonight. Waiting for the referee to show us what's going on here. He's checking as well. Roswell is going to receive the kickoff and be headed towards the south end zone. And the Raider seniors are headed back down to get behind the banner. The banner just says it all. Seniors with a 10 in the middle representing the 2010 graduating year and the numbers of all the seniors. Senior night, Kirk, is a big night. I know that, when Elizabeth and I experienced senior night, it's just a big – because you realize as a parent, all of those memories you have here at Raider Valley, and whether your son goes to play or whatever they do, you have a lot of fond memories of Raider Valley as a parent, and I know that there's more than a few parents sitting in the stands right now with a little lump in their throat.
Well, over the years, too, you've bonded with all the parents in the stands, so you just know that it'll never quite be the same. But we see a lot of parents coming back even after their kids have graduated.
And here come the Walton Raiders to the fight song Through the Banner. Wearing the black jerseys. The Hornets dressed in their black pants, white jerseys with green numbers, and they are getting ready to go through their large green Hornet banner. The Roswell fans with their thunder sticks making some noise over on the far side of the field. Folks, you're going to see some Division I talent out here tonight. You're going to see two potent offenses, but two very aggressive defenses. Really don't know what to expect other than some fireworks tonight, Kirk. I think we're just going to be in for one of those high school football games that's going to keep everybody on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, with Roswell not being part of Cobb County, you don't get all the stats on all the players, but we know who the better ones are. And, and with a balanced offense, who knows? Let it all hang out tonight. We know that both the teams score about the same number of points each game. It's apparently the Roswell defense is a step better, so we'll just see if we can prove them wrong tonight.
Well, as always, the Raiders are coached by first-year coach Rocky Hidalgo, whose career record is 6-2. The Hornets coached by second-year coach Leo Barker. Tim Russler, number 98, the senior kicker for the Raiders to kick off tonight. And deep for the Hornets, number 2, Demetrius Hightower, and number 12, Rashad Hoyle. Well, folks, in almost any sport we play here at Walton, it always comes down to those Roswell Hornets. Whether baseball, soccer, basketball, but in football, it just goes up a couple of notches. And it looks like Tim is going to take a short, probably the pooch kick here. Look for this ball to come down somewhere between the 35 and the 30-yard line. It is a live ball when that ball is in the air. And Rustler's done a great job of executing this kick already this season. Raiders versus Hornets. Here we go. Kick is short. Fielded and fumbled at the 22-yard line and covered up by the Hornets.
And that's what it's designed to do right there.
Number 12, Hoyle, picks it up, falls on it on the 22-yard line, and so it'll be first down and 10 for the Hornets at their own 22-yard line. Quarterback is number 14, Brian Hickman. He's a senior. He's one of the leaders of the team. You know, Kirk, one of the things you notice when you have a quarterback like Hickman with a very nice white jersey, how did the Raiders play today? Let's see what that jersey looks like at the end of the game. Straight I formation, Hickman back to pass. He's got lots of pressure, and he is sacked at the 15-yard line. Number 48, Brooks Tilley on the blitz, and good start for the Raiders, Kirk.
Great first play, too. What did we talk about earlier? Get that defensive line to penetrate through that line.
We'll see a replay on this one. As you can see, Tilley come through the offensive line with a quick blitz, right through the guard center gap. Good tackle brings Hickman down. So it brings up second down and 16 for the Hornets. Ball resting just outside the 15-yard line. Handoff in the I formation. Gain of 3 yards. Number 35, Duval Smith, one of the other offensive threats for the Hornets on the carry. He picks up a long 3, maybe a short 4.
Boy, I tell you, the first down play, we blitz, set them back on their ear to start. Well, it makes it tough for them to move forward after that.
Third down and 12 for the Hornets. Hornets come out with 2 receivers to the left, a lone receiver to the right. Lone receiver to the 8 is number 80, Chris Boyd. Motion by Bidell in motion. It's going to be a draw play, handoff at the middle, read well by the Raiders. No gain, loss of 2. And that's going to bring up a punting situation for the Hornets. Great start.
That's the aggressive defense we're talking about.
Lipsy and Williams deep for the Raiders.
You should have good field coverage after this one.
Braylon Williams, number 1. Number 27, Andrew Lipsy. Leone, the punter, gets off a short kind of end-over-end punt. That's going to be tabbed down to the 31-yard line. 51-yard punt by Leone. That'll shift your field position in a hurry, Kirk.
Boy, that's, the tough thing is we didn't have an up man on that one, so when he kicked it short, we let it roll, and could have been up to midfield on that one.
Yeah, the ball bounced somewhere around the 42-yard line, almost a 10 or 12-yard roll. So you got Windler at quarterback, first down and 10, ball at the Raider 31-yard line. Gazebo in the backfield by himself. 2 receivers left, 1 receiver to the right. Joey Windler, your Walton quarterback, number 16. And we've got, it looks like a Roswell Hornet jumping off sides. And we've got a flag in the play, and hopefully that'll bring up a first down and 5 for Walton. Dead ball foul, offsides against Roswell. 5-yard penalty brings up first down and 5 and moves the ball out to the 36-yard line. Patrick Cosgrove, number 4, bringing the play into Joey Windler. I will say one thing about the black jerseys, Kirk. It's a lot harder to see the numbers when you're up here with old eyes.
Well, that's why we have the greatest spotter around.
Trevor Miller and his, U.S. Navy binoculars. Windler back to pass, pressure coming in from his left. Pass downfield, Braylon Williams wide open, catches the ball at the 25. He's at the 15, the 10. And he is going to score on a 65-yard touchdown pass from Joey Windler to Braylon Williams. And Williams broke coverage, and we're going to see a replay on that one.
What a way to stop. On that play, too, Joey stepped up in the pocket. He had to rush on him, and wide open. Obviously, some broken coverage.
Play action pass to Andre Joaquin. Joaquin fakes the handoff beautifully as he goes in, and then Braylon Williams and the referee dance into the end zone.
I thought Braylon was going to try to knock that guy down.
Yeah, kind of like the Steelers and the Vikings game the other night, yeah. Lipsy to hold, Roswell to kick. What a great start for the Raiders. 6-0 Raiders. Point after looks like it is good. And your score with 9:46 left here in the first quarter is Walton Raiders 7, Roswell Hornets nothing. And we'll be back after this commercial break. You're watching Raider Vision Gamecast on Raider TV.
At Gas South, comfort is helping you feel at home. Whether you're setting up service for a new home or just looking for a better rate plan to keep a few more bucks in your pocket. And Gas South is committed to delivering outstanding customer service that not only builds your trust, but by being a part of the neighborhood, builds the community as well, which makes life a little more comfortable for everyone. Sign up at gassouth.com today and see how we are committed to your comfort.
Welcome back, Raider fans. And with 9:46 left here in the first quarter, the Raiders strike first on a 65-yard touchdown pass from Joey Windler to Braylon Williams. Beautiful play action fake by Windler to Andre Joaquin. And Braylon Williams was wide open at the 25-yard line, and the only person that was going to knock him out of the play was the side judge.
Well, we talked earlier about Roswell not giving up the big play. Surprise. First series.
We're still in a timeout waiting for the TV broadcast to come back.
3 and 12 are deep. That's my fault on that number. 3 and 12.
Deep for the Hornets. Number 3, Zach Allen, a sophomore. And number 12 again, Rashad Hoyle.
Joey's eyes must have lit open when he saw that Braylon was wide open there. Nobody around.
When I looked at Braylon, the first thought that went through my mind is he's so open, I hope he catches the ball.
Yeah, it's the receiver's worst nightmare. And you
It
see
is.
there's nobody around you.
So Tim Rosler, the senior kicker for the Raiders, to kick off. Now, one of the things that they've done is they've mixed this up a little bit, where Tim will show this pooch kick look, but he's got a pretty strong leg, and he can kick it deep. But here we go. It is going to be a pooch kick coming down at about the 25-yard line again. Good coverage by the Raiders. Umze, the receiver there for the Hornets, number 40. He's a senior. Start first and 10 from the 29-yard line. Folks, when we have another one of the TV timeouts, instead of going to one of our ads, we'll try to get through some of the senior names here tonight and let everybody hear the names of those Walton seniors that have given so much to our program. But first and 10, Mr. Hickman at quarterback for the Hornets. I formation, 2 receivers to the right, handoff, a little bit more room up in the middle on that one, and that's a gain of 5 yards for the Hornets. Devall Smith running the ball once again, number 35 for the Hornets. The other running back you want to keep an eye on is number 29, junior Keegan Hughes. Hickman once again with the handoff to Devall Smith. And Smith gains no yardage. It maybe lost a yard. It'll bring up a third down and 5, we'll say. Third down and 6 for the Hornets.
Chris Mooney on that tackle, if you notice, he came in and pinched that in, didn't let him get around him.
I'll tell you what, so far so good on the running game, playing defense here. And you know, one of the things that Coach Hidalgo said was that the Hornets run an offense that's familiar. The last 2 weeks we played offenses that weren't familiar. You're going to see a lot more base, the Raiders playing that base defense and looking more comfortable. Hickman back to pass. And that is great coverage down the right side. Pass intended, I believe, for number 80, Chris Boyd. We've got a Hornet down in the field. Looks like one of the linemen, maybe just a little banged up. Number 62, that's Kendall Barton. Kendall tried to get up, but I think he's going to wait for the trainers. Good coverage on the right side that time, Kirk.
Justin Shamaria, did a great job last week. Really shut them down. Looks like he's on the same path today.
Well, Chris Boyd is a Vanderbilt commit, as we said earlier.
Well, they sure could use him this year.
I think what they need the most right now, Kirk, is they need somebody who can throw a ball to a quarterback. I mean, to a wide receiver. Yeah. And I guess Georgia Tech goes to Vanderbilt tomorrow night.
And I'll get to be there and see it.
So deep to receive once again for the Raiders. Number 1, Williams. Number 27, Lipsy. Richie Leone, the punter for the Hornets. 51-yard punt the first time. Brings up 4th down and 6 for the Hornets. Oh, high punt, spiral. Going to be caught by Williams at the 24-yard line. He's looking to break a tackle. He finds a little bit of open room. And he's going to end up with basically no gain on the return. Looked like he had a little bit of a crack there for a moment, but good coverage by the Roswell Hornets. And it'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Raiders. The ball at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he juked out the first guy and had a wall of Roswell Hornets right on him after that.
Yeah, wrong colored jersey for the wall. So you've got number 44, Andre Joaquin, as your deep back right now. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Windler, your quarterback. Joaquin takes the ball over to the left. He's got plenty of running room, and he's tripped up after a 7-yard gain by number 21, DeMarcus Ingram.
Well, he was upended on that, too. I hope he's okay. Andre had another good game last week. He's tough to bring down.
2nd down and 2. 2nd down and 2 for the Raiders after Joaquin's run. We have not seen Kyle Vorster yet. We've got Gazebue and Joaquin in the backfield. Behind Joey Windler. Williams to the left, Cosgrove to the right. Windler fakes the run. He's back to pass again. He's got Cosgrove wide open in the middle. Cosgrove catches the ball at the 30. He's going to go in for another Raider touchdown. 67-yard touchdown pass. Joey Windler to Patrick Cosgrove. The Hornets bid again on the play fake. Oh, my goodness, Kirk.
Well, we got 2 passes for 132 yards already. How about that one?
And I think on the replay, you're going to see exactly the same motion. Windler fakes actually his keeper. Drops back. Patrick Cosgrove wide open.
Obviously, the coaches have found a hole there. And, you know, we talked earlier about Cosgrove and Williams being our top 2 receivers, and here you go.
Rustler's extra point is good. And with 7:26 left in the first quarter, your Walton Raiders 14, the Roswell Hornets 0. So instead of going to break here, Pete, give me a couple of seconds here. We'll read off some of the names of the seniors. We're honoring 32 senior football players tonight, Kirk, and a couple of the names. Number 66, guard Taylor Babb. Number 22, Kevin Bartlett, defensive back. Number 57, Chris Boardman, defensive tackle. Number 55, Joey Caforio, offensive lineman. Number 54, Matt Cheek, defensive tackle. Number 59, Drew Dalton, center. Number 93, Daniel Elliott, tight end. Number 79, Joe Gallard, defensive tackle. Number 41, Keegan Kiley, linebacker. Number 27, Andrew Lipsy, defensive back. Number 12, Zach Reitelhuber, linebacker. Number 98, Tim Rustler, kicker. Number 21, Justin Shamaria, defensive back. Number 58, Sebastian Steen, defensive end. Number 44, Andre Joaquin, running back. And number 16, Joey Windler, quarterback. I guess that's about half of our seniors. And we'll get to the others a little bit later on. But right now, with 7:26 left here in the first quarter, the Raiders playing great defense, keeping that Roswell running game down. And with a little bit of play action, the Raiders have, 130 yards passing and 2 touchdowns on 2 passes?
2 for 2 for 132 yards. So much for the slick field. At least it hasn't affected our receivers.
Well, it's obvious that if looking at the Roswell defense right now, they're really packing they're really packing almost 11 men into the box because the cornerbacks are up on the line of scrimmage. And they're biting on the play action. And on that last play, which was interesting, is that Windler's play action was really play action to himself, where he faked his own run and then dropped back to pass, whereas in the first time he faked the handoff to Joaquin. going up the middle. So Tim Russler, the senior kicker, once again for the Raiders to line up for what looks to be another pooch kick. The Hornets, oh boy, the Hornets receivers have crept up to the 20-yard line. If Tim can drop a kick on the 10-yard line, it would be total chaos right now because there is no one to cover that ball.
Yeah. It's like they're ready to catch it in the 30, 35-yard line.
This is going to be fielded by one of the deep backs, number 12, at the 27-yard line. He's looking for some running room. Good coverage by the Raiders. Tackle by number Jacob Issa, the linebacker for the Raiders. Gain of 10 on the return with a lot of running. An early score right now, Lassiter 7, Centennial nothing, and Kell 14, Alpharetta nothing.
And Shamaria was down the left-hand side. It would not allow them to get around him.
So once again, Roswell, Hickman the quarterback. Roswell lined up in the eye, two receivers to the left. Hickman back to pass. He's got time now. He's got some pressure. This pass is down deep down the middle, intended for number one, Brett Vidal.
And Chris Mooney put some pressure on the quarterback.
Hickman was hit by Mooney on that play. Receiver was open, but Chris put enough pressure on just there at the last minute to force that pass to be thrown maybe a beat too early. So it's second down and 10. The ball at the 36, 37-yard line of Roswell. I formation. Handoff right up the middle, no gain. Tackled by, I would say, the front seven of the Raiders defense. Number 48, Keegan Kiley, senior inside linebacker for the Raiders. Yeah, one of the things I'm noticing here early, Kirk, is that Keegan is very active. He had the sack on the first play, and Brooks Tilley. Excuse me, that's Brooks Tilley on that tackle.
Yeah, they have their runs up the middle have gone nowhere.
Yeah, Tilley and Kiley right now are very, very active at the linebacker positions. So it's third down and 10. Hickman back to pass. He's looking to make a short pass. Matt LaMontagne on the coverage. Pass overthrown. That's the third 3 and out by the Hornets. And it'll bring in Richie Leone, the punter, once again for Roswell.
And they knew the rush was coming quick, so they threw that out. And that's a tough one to complete, too.
Lassiter and Centennial tied 7-7 at Centennial. You know, if Centennial doesn't turn the ball over, they've got a ground game that can keep Mason and the Lassiter offense off the field.
Yeah, well, they're running that behind that big tackle. I guess the guy was going to Stanford. He must be about 6'7".
High punt by Leone. Good punt. Williams lets it bounce. He catches it at the 10-yard line on the bounce and then just scoots out of bounds at the 18-yard line.
Seems like they'd be better to have an up man and somebody back deeper rather than two people side by side.
42-yard punt, 4-yard return. Leone with a pretty good punt average here tonight, somewhere in the 45-yard range.
Well, we're helping him out, too.
We are. Raider offense comes back on the field. It'll be first down and 10, ball at the 18-yard line. Gazeboy, the lone running back behind Windler. Trip Robertson motion handoff to Gazeboy looking for running room. He's out over the 20-yard line. He'll pick up 4 yards for the Raiders up to the 22-yard line.
I've not seen Kyle Vorster tonight. Is he out?
He has not been in thus far. Tyler Verzale on the tackle for Roswell. And, Kirk, we ought to welcome some of the Roswell Hornet fans tonight. Roswell is another one of the schools that does their games on a internet gamecast. And be completely honest, they wanted to broadcast tonight's game, but with 790 The Zone here and with CSS and the papers here, we just ran out of room. But any Roswell fans, we welcome you to the gamecast here on Raider Vision.
Well, we got a few of them logging on here.
Windler back to pass. We got a penalty flag behind the line of scrimmage thrown at the feet of Joe Windler.
That was a nice catch, too, the man right on him.
Personal foul, roughing the passer against Roswell. That'll be 15 yards. Yeah, Pete, I don't know if we can see a replay on that one or not, but that flag came in a little late, so it must have been a late hit.
quite see it on that play.
So that'll be 15 yards from the 24. My math would say that takes us out to the 39-yard line. Well, we got a 16-yard penalty there.
Yep.
So it'll be first and 10, ball on the 40-yard line of the Raiders. Roswell fans making some noise on their sideline right now. Raiders in an I formation. Braylon Williams, the left handoff to the I back.
Is that Kyle?
And that's a 2-yard gain by number 3, Kyle Vorster, on his first carry of the night. Now, Kyle got banged up a little bit last week, Kirk, and nice to see him back right there.
He's had shoulder problems, but I don't think that was the reason he wasn't playing.
Well, he comes off the field after that carry. Gazebue back in. 2 receivers right. Braylon Williams out there by himself on the left to bring 2nd down and 8 for the Raiders. Ball at the 42-yard line. Trip Roberts in motion. Toss sweep to Gazebue running right. Over the 45. Good run up to the 48-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 2 for the Raiders. Tackled by number 23, Thomas Sexton for Roswell. 3rd down and 2 for the Raiders. And if I see it right on the side, it looks like we're bringing in the heavy jumbo here for the 3rd down and short. I'll tell you what, after watching David Paulson be the jumbo man for 3 years, it's just taken a while to get used to that. The same position he's playing right now for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And it looks like the Raiders moved. It's going to bring up a 5-yard penalty against the Raiders. And that 3rd and short now becomes a 3rd and 7.
Well, maybe that means we just need to have a long pass again.
I would think that maybe one of the possibilities that Coach Allen might be considering is a play-action pass with a long pass down the middle. Now the Raiders will be 3rd down and 7 at their own 43-yard line, looking to cross midfield here with 3:59 left here in the first quarter. Looking into the lights a little bit, it seems as though the mist has kind of settled down, so it's almost perfect weather now. The field's just going to be a bit slick. Windler in the shotgun. He steps up in the pocket. He's got a man open at the 45-yard line. Don't come back and give the 1st down away. Patrick Cosgrove with the catch, the ball to the 46-yard line, and that's a 1st down for the Raiders.
And Patrick found a seam there and was open, came back, and without concern he was going to come back and miss the 1st down.
Yeah, he caught that ball and immediately ran 4 or 5 yards back upfield. So the Raiders into Roswell territory, actually for the first time tonight, other than watching Mr. Cosgrove, Mr. Williams run. Windler on the keeper, pick up good yardage. Picks up almost 6 yards. Tackled by number 58, Tyler Verzal.
It sure makes a difference. Gives you a lot of options when you get 5-6 yards in your first down play.
Well, right now in the first quarter, the Raiders are controlling both sides of the offensive line, doing what they want to do, which is keep the Roswell offense off the field. First sustained drive for the Raiders after the 2 quick strikes on the long passes. Windler handoff to Vorster, finds some running room, but hit really hard as he picks up 2 yards. Gavin Guidry, number 41, senior linebacker on the tackle for the Hornets.
That hole closed up quick on Kyle on that play.
Yeah, it looked like he had a little bit of a seam there on the left side, and 3rd down and 3 now for the Raiders. Windler looking for running room. He cuts it upfield. He's going to have the 1st down for Walton.
He's so shifty. It's tough to get him down. Comes off the play with a little limp, though.
And that's another Walton 1st down. First and 10, ball at the Hornet 32-yard line. This drive started at the 18-yard line, their own 18-yard line. Raiders eating up lots of clock, under 2 minutes to go here now in the first quarter. Gazebo in motion. Hand off to Vorster. He fumbles the ball.
Fumble. Roswell's got it.
Waiting for the referee's signal. And it's going to be Roswell ball. Vorster puts the ball on the ground after about a 2-yard pickup.
58 on the recovery.
It's tough. We had a nice drive going, too. That happens, though, in the slick field. You got to secure that ball.
Number 58, Tyler Brazal, once again with the tackle and the recovery. We've called Tyler's name quite a bit here tonight, and it's going to be first down and 10. The ball will be at the 30. Wow, that was a great drive and just an unfortunate turnover by the Raiders. So Hickman in the formation, lone back, inside handoff to the motion back. Bidell sniffed out well by the Raiders for no gain. One yard gain by Bidell. Well, Dan Collins says no gain. We'll go with gain of 1, make it second down and 9. Dan Collins, of course, our Raider Valley PA announcer for many, many years. I guess we could call him a fixture.
Just about.
Quick pass.
Passed over the middle. Nice catch by number 6, Nick Henderson.
27.
Andrew Lipsy put a lick on him. Ball was secured, I thought, in his hands, and popped him good and dropped the ball.
Incomplete pass. I think Lipsy got the hit on that one, and you look here at the replay. Great pass by Hickman. A little bit behind him. Thought Henderson had it, but tackled and hit by Lipsy. Nick's older brother plays football with my son at Elon. So we've got third down and 9, since I said we gained a yard here in that first play. 2 receivers to the right. Fake handoff. Hickman rolling out right. He's got a receiver wide open at the 35.
And unfortunately, roughing the passer on the play.
So we're going to have, looks like what's going to be a 15-yard penalty, roughing the passer. Was that Mooney on the tackle?
I believe so.
Yeah, it would have been a little short. Trevor tells us it would have been a tad short. Raiders actually had him tackled for a 5-yard gain and let him spin out and pick up the extra yardage. But that's going to be 15 yards from the end of the play.
That's a tough penalty. We got to use our heads on this.
First time across the midfield.
Yep.
He had clearly released the ball. We came in after.
So that basically turns into a 25-yard play, and the first time that the Hornets move into Raider territory. You know, one thing with the Hornets is they've got a field goal kicker who is a terrific Division I prospect, and if they get the ball down to the 30-yard line, they're gonna try to get 3 points. Hickman hands off to number 35, Duval Smith, who gets his first crease of the night, picks up 5 yards.
And Andrew Lipsy was down there, stuck out his hand and brought him down.
Good tackle by Lipsy. Probably prevented Smith from maybe breaking that one all the way.
Unfortunately, you don't want your safety to have to pull your guy down.
I formation, second down and 5. Handoff once again to Smith, looking for running room. And he picks up 2 yards. It'll bring up a third down and 3 for the Hornets. Kiley on the tackle again for Walton.
We need a big stop here.
And that's the end of the first quarter. With your score, the Walton Raiders 14, the Roswell Hornets nothing. You're watching Raider football on Raider Vision Gamecast, and we'll be back after this commercial break.
Is helping you feel at home. Whether you're setting up service for a new home or just looking for a better rate plan to keep a few more bucks in your pocket. And yeah. At Gas South, comfort is helping you feel at home. Whether you're setting up service for a new home or just looking for a better rate plan to keep a few more bucks in your pocket. And Gas South is committed to delivering outstanding customer service that not only builds your trust, but by being a part of the neighborhood, builds the community as well, which makes life a little more comfortable for everyone. Sign up at gassouth.com today and see how we are committed to your comfort.
Welcome to Lazy Boy.
I know what's going on here. This furniture, these prices, all this furniture is...
Welcome back, Raider fans, to a happy Raider Valley here at the beginning of the second quarter. The Raiders leading 14-0 on two long pass plays from Joey Windler to Braylon Williams, and then Joey Windler to Patrick Cosgrove. But you can sense right now, Kirk, the momentum has taken a little bit of a shift here after the Vorster fumble. The Raiders had a long drive going, started at their own 18-yard line, had driven down to the 25-yard line before the fumble. Now Roswell, picks up a first down after a roughing the passer penalty, and they have third down and 4 at their own 39-yard line. So at the Raider 39-yard line.
Well, first quarter we had, Walton had roughly, and these aren't exact stats, but I've got 4 passes and 6 times we've run. On the other hand, Roswell's done the opposite. They've done 9 runs and had 5 passes. So they're clearly showing dominance toward the running game at this point.
Well, Roswell giving the ball to their running back, number 35, Duval Smith. Third down and 4 for the Hornets. Toss sweep to Smith, who gains it picks up about 6 yards, maybe 8 yards for the Hornets. Brooks Tilley on the tackle along with Huber. But you could see Duval Smith picking up momentum on that play. He got to the corner. He was going full speed, and that's a running back that's going to pick up some heavy yardage when he gets his momentum going north and south.
And Brooks Tilley shifted left and made a nice tackle on that play, or else he'd been down the backfield.
So Smith once again in the I formation behind Hickman. Hickman turns, hands off to Smith. He bounces off one tackler, and he'll pick up maybe 3 yards. It'll bring up a second down and 7. The Hornets will be at the 27-yard line of the Raiders. You can see Duval Smith picking up a little bit of momentum. He's starting to get his rhythm. They're going to continue giving the ball, Kirk, and they're going to try to wear down that Raider defense with that running game.
Well, he's their key running back, so focusing a little bit on him wouldn't hurt.
So second down and 7 for the Hornets. Hickman back to pass. That might be an offensive interference
play.
I
think that's going to be an offensive interference call. Just before the ball was there, he was pushing that defensive back out.
Yeah, was that Matt LaMontagne over there that he pushed?
I think so.
I think the Hornet fans know it pretty well because there's not a lot of noise on that side of the field.
And Matt had the position on that play.
And it is going to be against the Hornets. If you look, you can see right there.
Good call.
So that's going to move the Hornets back to their own 43-yard line, as well as a loss of down. Offensive interference, 15-yard penalty, loss of down. Brings up third down and 21 for the Hornets. That was a huge penalty. Not only did it take back the touchdown, obviously, but it also knocks the Hornets back quite a bit. Raiders looking to blitz off the corner. Offsides on Walton or motion by the Hornets. We'll have to wait and see. So the timeout taken by the Raiders. That's their first timeout, and we'll keep it here.
Kurt, I'm showing that Pope is beating Milton 21-0 in the second quarter. So they may not be the pushover that we hope they will be next week. Also showing Lassiter's losing. I don't have the score on that one.
Yep. The last score we had was Lassiter and Centennial were tied at 7-7. There's going to be a lot of movement in Region 6 in the next 2 weeks. I mean, if we beat the Hornets tonight and win next week, and then the Hornets and Lassiter play each other, back and forth, and round we go. But as we talked about in the opening, Kirk, it's as simple as this. The Raiders win, they're in. And one of the great things about a playoff is you don't have to try to get any style points. You don't have to impress anybody. You just have to win your football games.
Well, there's no scoreboard watching here. They're focused on just beating one team in front of them.
We still have a TV timeout. And the mist seems to be coming down a little heavier again here tonight. Comes and goes, comes and goes. Centennial 14, Lassiter 7 in the second quarter.
And that game is being played at Centennial.
That's right. That's right.
Well, if I told you before the game that with 10:53 left in the second quarter, 14-0, we'd all take it.
We would take that. We would take that. All right. Now the Hornets come out with 3rd down and 21. The ball sitting at their own 42-yard line, just across the 43, the 42. Number 80, Chris Boyd, their wide receiver here out by himself here on the right. Pass down the middle, tipped away by the Raiders, incomplete.
Jacob Blazer came up and knocked the ball away at the last minute. Good play.
So Leone's going to punt the ball.
I'm really impressed tonight so far with the defense. They're playing very aggressive on all ends.
Well, other than the roughing the passer penalty, really, you can argue that the Hornets haven't done much. This is a punt by Leone. High punt, way up in the air. Oh, come on, ball, roll in the end zone. And that ball is going to roll into the end zone and come out to the 20. Wait a minute. One of the referees is marking it down. Nope, going to bring it out to the 20-yard line.
I was impressed. That ball was just a high, lofting punt, but no one was down there quick enough to stop it from going in.
I was hoping we weren't going to end up with one of those sand wedges where the ball stops and dies at the 1-yard line. These kind of conditions, you need to worry a little bit about the transfer of the ball. And, in the end zone, it just doesn't feel good when that's going on a rainy, misty night. But the Raiders take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Gazebue and Joaquin in the backfield for the Raiders behind Joey Windler. Cosgrove and Williams are wide receivers. Hand off to Andre Joaquin over the 20 to 25. Still on his feet and out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Tackled by number 23, Thomas Sexton for the Hornets.
Andre is just low to the ground and just a bull to bring down.
Well, when Andre gets his momentum going, as you said, he's very low. He's tough to tackle. But 5 yards after that initial hit, just keeping his balance.
The 3 guys with a shot on him, too.
Rodney Gazebue in the backfield by himself now. Lipsy in motion over to the Williams side of the field. Handoff to Rodney, looking for running room, ducks inside, hit hard.
A lot of running for no yards.
Taylor Beckman, the linebacker for the Hornets, on the tackle. No gain for the Raiders, brings up a 2nd down and 10. Visitor here in the press box, Lisa Sager, who keeps us all organized here at Walton High School as it goes in the press box on Friday nights, and also helps us all maintain our playing weight with the food that's brought up here on Friday nights.
She does a good job, that's for sure.
Raiders with the trips right. Gazebue in the backfield with Windler in the shotgun. Going to be a screen pass, hands of Braylon Williams, and he fumbles, drops the ball after about a step or two. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
Kurt, we had 2 of those last week with Braylon. He sees the guy coming and he takes his eyes off of it.
As a wide receiver, you need to trust your other wide receivers that they're going to pick up those blockers. You're not going to have to worry about that. There was a seam there as well.
And it's designed to have you open there, so you got to catch the ball first.
3rd down and 10 for Windler in the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Lots of time. He steps up in the pocket, scrambles to his right, throws it downfield for Braylon Williams, number 1, but he was covered. That'll bring up the Raiders' first punt of the night. You know, Joey's had time to pass the ball. Even on that play, it broke down a little bit just because they had good coverage by Roswell. But Joey has had time to pass the ball.
I tell you, he's such an athlete. He's able to avoid a couple guys, and they stepped up and then dodged a few and rolled right and just overthrew his receivers.
Patrick Cosgrove to punt for the Raiders. He's standing on his own 23-yard line. Roswell receiver standing back at his 30. And we have flags on the play. False start by Walton. It'll knock it back 5 more yards. Keegan Hughes, number 29, the deep back for the Hornets. Hughes, one of those dangerous receivers you need to keep an eye on. Cosgrove in the punt. Once again, he's standing now on his 17-yard line. Gets away a high spiral. Fumbled by the Hornets. And it looks like the Walton Raiders have the ball at the 36-yard line.
What a huge turnover. And there again, number 41 was going to catch it and take off with it. Took his eyes off of it.
Number 12, Zach Rattlehuber with the recovery of the muffed punt. He looks up just before he catches the ball. I thought there for a minute, though, Kirk, that we weren't going to fall on it. We had guys trying to decide, do I pick it up? Do I run? Do I fall on it?
I think he had one that was going to pick it up. The other guys got smart with it.
So Vorster back in the game as the lone tailback set back behind Joey Windler. Williams to the left, Cosgrove to the right, Gazeboy in the slot to the right. Handoff to Vorster, and he is met at the line of scrimmage and tackled and brought down. Number 58, Tyler Verzal. Tyler is very active out there tonight, and it seems when Kyle is in, they seem to have a key that they're reading on Kyle. And with Andre and Rodney, they don't seem to be quite as prepared for maybe what's coming. And now we got Gazeboy and Joaquin in. And illegal substitution against the Raiders. 8:26 left here in the first half. Raiders leading 14-0 over the Roswell Hornets.
I'd like to see Andre run right up the middle, see him take out a few defensive linemen here.
Well, one thing that Coach Hidalgo said is that the Roswell defense isn't a big one, and that what he wanted to have happen tonight was our big offensive line to eventually wear them down. So far, so good. So it's 2nd down and 15, the ball resting at the 41-yard line. Windler back to pass, get rid of it, Joey. Patrick Cosgrove on the catch after we'll call it a 5-yard gain. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Raiders. Ball back at the original line of scrimmage at the 37-yard line.
And Kurt, they had a late blitz and almost got to him, but Joey rifled it quick and hit Cosgrove just open and tackled immediately.
3rd and 10 for the Raiders. Gazeboy and Joaquin in the backfield with Windler in the shotgun. Bit of a max protection kind of formation. Running backs to block any of it. It's going to be a screen pass. Joaquin with the screen pass. Good block upfield. Andre's going to break this pass. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. He's going to score another Walton Raider touchdown. Flag on the play.
What a play, though.
Block in the back against the Raiders. Coming back.
Andre had like a third gear on him on that play. He saw an opening and shot right through it.
It was set up perfectly, and there was a great block downfield at about the 25-yard line. A little replay. Let's watch, see if we can see the hold. There was a hold downfield. I can't tell who it was. Well, bring it back again. And let's run the play on the other side of the field. You know, that way.
That's the type of play, though, you hit somebody in the back because you got some people downfield and they see that guy breaking loose and you're inevitably hitting somebody in the back. Hard to lay off on that.
I'll tell you what, Andre Joaquin runs very, very, very hard. And when he gets the ball and gets going, I wouldn't want to have to tackle him. So, 3rd down and 14. Windler back to pass again. Good pressure by Roswell. He throws it deep downfield. Touchdown, Walton Raiders. They're going to call him out of the end zone.
Oh, was that a tough play?
Well, I guess the replay is going to tell us whether the referees were right or not, and you can decide for yourself. Windler steps up in the pocket beautifully, though, here.
I think the key there, Kurt, is to run that play inside our own 50. We just ran out of real estate there. It was very close, but the ref was right there on it watching that.
I couldn't tell. I mean, I couldn't tell. I thought he might have had it, but without, a high-def replay, you're not going to get a good idea. So the Walton students expressed their dissatisfaction with the call. Cosgrove with the punt. Another high punt. Bounces in the end zone. It's going to come out to the 20-yard line. So with 6:54 left here in the second quarter, the Walton Raiders lead the Roswell Hornets 14-0. And the Hornets will take over 1st down and 10 at their own 20. And we'll take a timeout and a commercial break. You're watching Walton Raider football live on Raider Vision Gamecast.
Following her surgery, Margaret needed additional therapy before going home. At Manor Care, most of our patients are here for rehabilitative care, not a permanent residence. With expertise in developing personalized rehab programs, we tailor plans that achieve success. The Manor Care team helped Margaret regain her strength and worked out the details of Medicare so she could get back to the things that are really important. So choose a proven leader. Choose Manor Care.
All right, Raider fans, welcome back to Raider Valley, where the Raiders hold a 14-0 lead over the Roswell Hornets. The last couple of minutes, both the Raiders and the Hornets have had a long touchdown pass called back. The Raiders punted into the end zone. Patrick Cosgrove with the punt into the end zone, and the Hornets will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Devall Smith, number 35, in the backfield in the I formation for the Hornets. Number 4, the quarterback, J.P. Douglas. Douglas, your new quarterback, the junior, number 4. First play, toss sweep to the right to Devall Smith. Smith picks up 5 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5 for the Hornets.
And I'm guessing they replaced him just to show something different here.
Second down and 5. Smith again in the backfield in the I formation behind Douglas, the new quarterback for the Hornets. Raiders blitz. Smith over the 25 up to the 27-yard line. Make it the 28-yard line. He picks up 3. It brings up a 3rd down and 2 with the ball at 28.
And we're showing halftime Centennial 21-7 over Lassiter.
Things are going to be interesting the last week here in Region 6. So we have a 3rd down and 2. Douglas, the quarterback, Smith, the tailback, 2 receivers, one to the right, one to the left. He rolls out to his right. Caught by number pass called incomplete, intended for number 29, Keegan Hughes. And that'll bring a punting situation up for the Roswell Hornets. And Richie Leone to drop back into punt formation for Roswell, deep for the Raiders. Number 1, Braylon Williams, and number 27, Andrew Lipsey. And I'm quite proud of myself here. I haven't called Braylon Edwards yet.
It's still early.
It is early. It is early.
I think that last play, Lipsey kind of got in the way of that receiver, and he dropped the ball the last second.
Oh, high spiral by Leone. Ball coming down, fair catch called by Lipsey. Another 50-yard kick by Leone.
I think if Andrew could do that over again, he'd been running with the ball. He had a lot of real estate in front of him.
Yeah, one of the things that Leone's his punts turn over. They get a high spiral, they turn over, but they knuckle on the way down. And good catch by Andrew Lipsey. From what I've seen of Richie Leone, I think one of the things that Houston will be looking at Richie to do is probably some punting next year or during his college career. Rodney Gazeboy, the lone back behind Joey Windler. Braylon Williams to the left. Cosgrove to the right. Toss sweep to Gazeboy going right. Finds a hole. Tackled by number 53, Taylor Beckman. Five-yard gain for the Raiders will bring up 2nd down and 5 for Walton.
Rodney's so quick. That helped us get that 5 yards in that play.
Vorster and Gazeboy in the backfield. Windley, your quarterback. Patrick Cosgrove to the right. Windler keeps it on some counter motion. And he picks up maybe 2 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. You know, I was watching the Roswell defensive backs. All of their motion. And Trevor played defensive back in college, so you can tell us. But their first steps are towards the line of scrimmage. Most defensive backs are taught that their first steps are backwards. And they're playing the run the whole way.
I think it's Braylon time.
So we've got Braylon Williams wide right with Cosgrove in the slot. Joaquin and Gazeboy behind Joey Windler. Hand off to Joaquin on the trap. He's not going to get any yards. It's going to bring up a 4th down. Punt team coming on the field for the Raiders. You know, that's the formation, though, where when they run that slot to the right, fake that handoff up the middle that we've gotten the deeper passes on. Cosgrove deep to punt for the Raiders.
We haven't had much open up the middle on those runs.
No, most of it's been a little bit outside the tackle. Cosgrove on his kick team. Bit of a short kick, high kick. It's going to come down around midfield. Gets a good bounce. And they'll be touchdown by the Raiders at the 44-yard line. 37-yard punt for Patrick Cosgrove. And with 3:08 left here in the second quarter, it's Walton Raiders 14, Roswell Hornets 0. We'll be back after this commercial.
legendary Flo's filet with signature seasonings. Always fresh, always tender. Longhorn Steakhouse. Discover the West in you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Drew Tutton.
Please, please. As you well know, this is a make it or break it month for the automotive industry as well as America.
This is a place where stories get passed from one generation to the next, where meals are shared every night, and where songs are sung so off-key it makes the coyotes cry. This is the West that we know. This is Longhorn, where you can enjoy our juicy outlaw ribeye, fire-grilled to savory perfection, or try our legendary Flo's filet with signature seasonings. Always fresh, always tender. Longhorn Steakhouse. Discover the West in you.
Lady.
And 10 at their own 44-yard line. Number 4, J.P. Douglas back in at quarterback for the Hornets. He turns and hands off to number 35, Duval Smith. Smith is wrestled down by Chris Mooney. He picks up maybe a half a yard. Good hard tackle there by Chris.
Yeah, we got to be careful not to when you hear that whistle blow, to stop.
So we'll say it's no gain for the Hornets. It brings up second down and 10. Trevor, can you see the sideline to see if Brian Hickman is hurt, or 14, the quarterback, the starting quarterback? So Douglas drops back to pass, throws one deep over the middle. Overthrown coverage there by Matt LaMontagne. So it brings up a third down and 10 for Roswell. You can sense that Roswell wants to run the ball, Kirk, but particularly with Douglas in at quarterback, but they just can't get it going.
Yeah, and I thought he would give him a different look, and I don't see any difference here.
Chris Boyd, wide receiver out to his left, 2 receivers right. Smith in the backfield. Number 1, Bidell in motion. Quick pass, going to be intercepted. Oh, incomplete. 3 guys touched it. 2 Raiders, 1 Hornet.
Yeah, it was ricocheted around there, and we had a great chance to pick that off.
Jacob Blazer knocked it down, but Chris Boyd for the Hornets almost caught it, and that would have been 6 points if he had caught that ball.
Yeah, we could have picked it off and taken it down the field for us.
All right, so Richie Leone back into punt for the Hornets. He's standing at his own 33-yard line. Got to be careful with handling it. Almost blocked by the Raiders, but, of course, another high punt. Caught and down by Lipsy at the 20-yard line.
Wes Bailey, number 17, was so close to blocking that.
Was that Bailey that almost caught that one? You know, one thing, Raider fans, that when you go online to watch these games or watch the rebroadcasts, I would encourage you to go watch the senior spotlights. We've taken the time over the last few weeks to interview all the senior players here. I've had a chance to do all those, and I got to tell you, I am so impressed with these young guys. Take the time to watch them. Tell them how proud you are of them, and particularly tell their mom and dads how proud you are of them. So here we go. Raiders 1st and 10, ball at their own 20. Windler spins out, keeps the ball. Hit hard, but picks up, we'll say 3 yards. It'll bring up a second down and 7. Tackle by number 23, Thomas Sexton for the Hornets.
We haven't seen Joey run that much tonight.
No, we haven't, and one of his better plays was when he faked the run and had the deep pass. 1:43 left here in the first half. The clock is running. Might be a good time for that long pass here, Kirk. You know, you don't have a whole lot of time left. You throw a deep interception. Well, hey, we can hold him. Flanker pass out to Williams. He's caught. Nice open field tackle. Number 21, DeMarcus Ingram, with a really nice tackle there on Braylon Williams. 3rd down and 2 for the Raiders. Ball at the 28-yard line. Clock is running with 1:08 left here in the first half. 1:06, 1:05.
Well, we had Braylon out in the flat, which is what we wanted. It's a good tackle, though. Close in quick.
Windler breaks it outside to the 30, the 35, and he's going to run out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line.
And Andrew Lipsy had a nice downfield block to spring him, too.
I thought for a minute there that Joey was going to turn the corner and go. Talking to Joey the other day, he said that he's got one offer. He's got one from the Air Force Academy, and I'm sure they're looking at him as a running quarterback. Whether you take that offer or not, quite an honor to have one of the academies offer you a chance to play football and serve your country. So, Joey, 1st and 10. Raiders, 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Windler in the shotgun, standing on his own 35-yard line. Back to pass, steps up. He's going to run. He's got a nice block by the referee. And Windler runs out of bounds with 35.4 seconds left here in the first half. Windler picks up 8 yards. Ball just shy of the 50-yard line. Referee warning the Walton sideline, stay back a little bit here, guys.
Well, with 35 seconds left, you got to get downfield in a hurry. I can think of 2 possibilities.
Yeah, I can think of one play tonight that's worked quite well from this situation.
I'm thinking of number 1 or number 4.
Windler back to pass, stands on his own 39-yard line, throws it deep down the field to Williams with a fantastic catch. Fantastic catch by Braylon Williams down to the 15-yard line. Clock stops with 26.9 seconds left here to go.
That was an outstanding catch with people hanging all over him.
Terrific catch by Braylon Williams.
He was going to come off with a limp, and all of a sudden he said, heck no, I'm in the next play.
Yeah, I was going to say, Braylon, you might want to look for this ball there at the back corner, the back pylon. Clock running with 26 seconds to go, and Windler spikes the ball to bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Raiders. Ball at the 15-yard line. I got to tell you guys, I'm really looking forward to seeing Braylon play basketball with Ryan Harrow this winter. That's going to be fantastic.
And this is just icing on the cake having him for football.
And you can tune into Raider basketball, and I suspect you may hear some familiar voices, Tim Burns, myself, and we'll see if we can get Mr. Gadabush to show his basketball skills as well. Windler, quarterback draw. He's at the 15, and he's brought down after a 1-yard gain. Raiders take a timeout with 17.7 seconds left. Raiders' second timeout of the half. They'll have 1 left here.
Kurt, I don't believe we've made a field goal all year, have we?
I wasn't going to say that because guys like you say things like that, and it jinxes kickers. But no, we haven't. Now Tim has been kicking well and on kickoffs, and with Rustler and Zach Miller. I think Holden Fender's actually at a soccer event this weekend. So, I know we'd like to get a touchdown, but this would be a great place to break the jinx on the field goals in the 2009 season. The ball's on the 14-yard line, maybe the 13-yard line. We've got a 3rd down and 8. Yeah, this is either you see Braylon running to the back post or you see Cosgrove cutting across the middle. Those have been the 2 plays we've seen in this area. We've got an empty backfield, 2 receivers left, 3 receivers to the right. Joey Windler, the quarterback, standing on his own 19-yard line. 17.7 seconds left here in the first half. Plenty of time. Touchdown! Oh, incomplete. Great coverage there by number 21, DeMarcus Ingram. I thought Cosgrove had that one.
I was watching Lipsy, too, trying to get open there short.
All right, we're going to go for a field goal, but replay shows terrific play by DeMarcus Ingram. Tim Rustler with the 31-yard field goal attempt towards the south end. 12.7 seconds left here in the first half. Snap is low. Kick it. Oh, no, it's blocked. It's going to be returned for a touchdown.
And his time runs out in the half, too.
Time runs out in the half. I'm not sure who that was. But it's a touchdown by the Roswell Hornets. And the field goal kicking woes for the Walton Raiders continue.
Well, it was a bad snap. He bobbled it and should have just taken a knee on it. He had no way of making that after he set that up to kick.
Did not get the number of the Roswell player who returned it. Richie Leone in to do the extra point. Brett Bidell, the holder. And that kick is up and good. So your halftime score, Walton Raiders 14, the Roswell Hornets 7. We're going to take a little bit of a break up here at halftime and show you some commercials and give the announcers a chance to get something to eat and drink. But his score at halftime, Walton 14, Roswell 7. We'll be back for the second half.
This is a place where stories get passed from one generation to the next, where meals are shared every night, and where songs are sung so off-key it makes the coyotes cry. This is the West that we know. This is Longhorn, where you can enjoy our juicy outlaw ribeye, fire-grilled to savory perfection, or try our legendary Flo's filet with signature seasonings. Always fresh, always tender. Longhorn Steakhouse. Discover the West in you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Drew Tutton.
Please, please. As you well know, this is a make it or break it month for the automotive industry as well as America. But let me tell you, we will make it. Be American, buy American.
What about health care?
I say take care of your health. Otherwise, you can't enjoy 0% financing for 72 months or up to $16,000 off. Only at Ed Bulls Chrysler Dodge Jeep.
Welcome to Lazy Boy.
I know what's going on here. This furniture, these prices, all this furniture is hot.
Hot.
Come on, kids. Let's go.
It's just a sale. I swear.
Hurry in now for great savings. Comfort, it's what we do. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries.
At Gas South, comfort is helping you feel at home. Whether you're setting up service for a new home or just looking for a better rate plan to keep a few more bucks in your pocket. And Gas South is committed to delivering outstanding customer service that not only builds your trust, but by being a part of the neighborhood, builds the community as well, which makes life a little more comfortable for everyone. Sign up at gassouth.com today and see how we are committed to your comfort.
Following her surgery, Margaret needed additional therapy before going home. At Manor Care, most of our patients are here for rehabilitative care, not a permanent residence. With expertise in developing personalized rehab programs, we tailor plans that achieve success. The Manor Care team helped Margaret regain her strength and worked out the details of Medicare so she could get back to the things that are really important. So choose a proven leader. Choose Manor Care.
Welcome back to Raider Valley, Raider fans, where the Walton Raiders hold a 14-7 lead over the Roswell Hornets. Some halftime stats. The Raiders have 82 yards on the ground with 17 carries. The leading rusher is Andre Joaquin, 3 rushes for 25 yards. Through the air, the Raiders have Joey Windler, 7 for 11 with 195 yards and 2 touchdowns. The touchdowns by Braylon Williams and by Patrick Cosgrove. Raiders have 277 yards total. In the first half, Roswell has rushed the ball 14 times for 24 yards and gained 9 yards in the air for a total of 33 yards. So, Kirk, the Raiders outgain the Hornets 277-33. And the Roswell Hornets have to be sitting there saying to themselves, 14-7 feels pretty good after that last play of the first half with the blocked field goal and the long return.
Well, we go back to some of the keys that I mentioned earlier. Number 1 was to stop the run, and obviously 24 yards, we've done that. Number 2 was to establish a run for us, and while 82 yards isn't isn't world-shaking. Still shows we've dominated them. Number 3, don't give up the big play, and heck, we haven't done that. We've done some strong tackling. Except for one play, we'd be shutting them out.
Well, that was particularly frustrating because it looked like the Raiders had a touchdown in the end zone with a pass from Windler to Cosgrove, and Joey. The pass was just tipped away by DeMarcus Ingram for the Hornets. Returning that for a touchdown was number 19, Steven Salinas, I believe, is who we all decided on, who was the returner of that blocked field goal. And we do have a replay, so why don't we go ahead and watch that. You can see it was a fumbled snap. And basically the ball was kicked right into the stomach of the Roswell defender, who runs it all the way in for the touchdown.
Yeah, if that bounced about anywhere else, we would have had it, and the half would have been over.
So big play by number 19, Steven Salinas, to really turn momentum here. Now the Raiders do get the ball to start the second half with the kickoff. And, we've been controlling the ball. We've been controlling the ball well. We had the screen pass that was called back. We had the pass that was tipped away at the last minute in the end zone on those last possessions. And the Raiders have controlled the ball but find themselves in a situation where they're only up by 7 points against a team with a very dangerous offense. Now, the great news is our defense has played very well, and we've contained that Roswell offense. And we just have to hope for more in the second half. And, fact of the matter is the Raiders don't turn the ball over, minimize their mistakes, Kirk. They should be able to take care of business here.
Well, Kurt, I tell you still have to feel good about what we've done. No matter what happened on that last play, they've kept it close for sure, but we have dominated them. And unless there's some major adjustments going on, I'd expect us to play the same way on defense, pretty tenacious.
Now, one thing we need to keep an eye out is Brian Hickman, the number 14, the senior quarterback, did start the game. Later in the first half, number 4, J.P. Douglas, the junior quarterback, came in and replaced Hickman. So we need to see what the situation with that is. I mean, Hickman brings that terrific ability to throw the ball downfield, get it to those wide receivers that he has. Now, one of the things that is a little disturbing if you are a Raider fan, the Raiders do a great job in the third quarter outscoring their opponent. During the season, we've outscored our opponent 69-27 in the third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, the Raiders have given up 44 points and only scored 26. So, we've had a little bit of a problem finishing some games. We had a little trouble with the Milton game where we hung on to win that, and then against Centennial and against Lassiter, Kirk, we weren't able to hold that lead or stay with them late in the fourth quarter. So tonight, against a team that's got the explosion that Roswell has, you have to play the old cliche. We got to play all 48 minutes tonight.
You got it. You trying to jinx us again?
No, but you did it. You said something about the kicker before the end of the half, and
you're trying to one-up me, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I hope not, because what we need here is a dominating second half with some ball control and taking control of this game right from the beginning kickoff here at the second half. Minute and 24 left before the second half kickoff.
I promise I won't say anything before our next kick.
Well, one thing that is really been, I think, a great thing to watch is that Windler has been able to step up in the pocket. When he's had some pressure, and he hasn't had much at all, he's been able to find the open receiver. And if you look at what has happened in the first half, is our offensive line did dominate their defensive front. And play mistake-free football here in the second half, and you have to feel pretty good about the Raiders' chances if they play with the same kind of defensive intensity that they did in the first half.
Well, Roswell has not stopped our long pass, so I'd expect us to keep doing it until they stop us.
$26 seconds left here before the Raiders retake the field. And it doesn't look like it's raining right now or even misting. It looks as though it's just kind of damp. Didn't see as many slips and falls as I think we might have expected to see in the first half. So the field is holding up well. Our cameraman Bob McLeod down there standing amongst the students, probably the bravest man in Raider Valley, the cameraman in the student section. Third quarter is Bob's most dangerous time because he has to film and stand in the midst of the bananas cheer. And there's Bob right there.
This way.
Thank you, Bob.
We get to see his profile.
Hiding under his umbrella.
I think the umbrella is to protect the camera, not Bob.
Well, we're waiting for CSS to come back from their commercials. The Hornets will be kicking off. You know, I noticed that CSS has a sideline reporter. Do you think maybe next year, Kirk, we need to step it up?
I think so. Maybe we can have them up at the booth at halftime or something. I'm wondering what they asked Rocky as he walked off the field at halftime.
That would not have been an interview. I've known Rocky for a good while, and I guess I've probably done more interviews with Rocky than anybody else. And that is one where I think I would have said, oh, he got away from me. I couldn't get a microphone in front of him. So we are back live with CSS, and the Hornets kickoff team is standing on the 40-yard line, getting ready to break their huddle. The Raiders will head to the south end zone here to start the third quarter. Richie Leone, the kicker, Matt LaMontagne, and Braylon Williams deep to receive. I think this ball may be headed towards the end zone. It's a difficult night to kick, though. It's a little wet, the air's a little heavy. I think I saw that Leone kicks about 35 or 40% of his balls into the end zone for the automatic touchback. You know, one thing, Kirk, you got to wonder is if there's going to be the rule change, either move the kickers back 5 yards or let some people return the ball out of the end zone. Swift kick down the middle of the field. He slipped. Picked up by Braylon Williams at the 10. He's at the 15 to the 20. Tries to get the corner, and he does, but slows down and is knocked out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, you know, on your point, Kurt, and part of the exciting part of football is seeing them return kicks, and you know, to have them not be able to because it happens to go in the end zone is kind of crazy.
Well, if you move those kickers back just 5 yards, I mean, you'd probably increase it by 50%. Looked like Leone slipped and fell on his kick and squibbed it down to about the 15 or 10-yard line. It was picked up by Braylon Williams. And the Raiders will take over 1st and 10, ball at their own 24-yard line.
Different defensive front on a 4-3.
And Roswell comes out in a 4-3. It looked like they've been playing a 5-2 monster here to start the game. Handoff to Gazeboy straight up the middle. He picks up 6 yards. Tackled by number 31, Brian Chin, the tackler for the Hornets. And Steven Salinas there on the tackle. So Steven in the first play of the second half, just like he ended the first half, involved. 2nd down and 4 for the Raiders. Ball at their own 31-yard line. Gazeboy and Joaquin in the backfield. Joey Windley, your quarterback. Williams and Cosgrove, your wide receivers. Windler keeps the ball over the left side. And he picks up a Walton Raider first down. One thing I've noticed about Joey, that when he turns the corner, he has a pretty wicked stiff arm. His first move is he puts that ball on his outside hip, and his first move upfield is with a very, very strong stiff arm.
And that gave him the first down.
It did. Gazeboy, the lone running back behind Windler. Trip Roberts in motion, pitch to Gazeboy, headed to the right side. Nice tackle there by number 53, Taylor Beckman, the outside linebacker. Ball will be spotted at the 38-yard line, a pickup of 3. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Raiders.
I thought he was going to spring it for more, but they closed in quickly on us.
It looks like when you looked at Braylon's kickoff return and then that run by Rodney, making that sharp turn upfield, that might be where they're feeling a little bit of the squishiness out there on the field. Roswell stacking the line of scrimmage. Man coverage on the outside. If you want to pop a long one, this might be a great chance to do it. Play action. Windler looking. Finds Daniel Elliott, the tight end, wide open.
Well, Joey eluded some rush, too, and threw a nice one on the run.
Daniel Elliott, the tight end, with his first reception of the day, takes the ball down to the 43-yard line of Roswell. That was well executed. Joey with good motion and threw a good one. Here's the replay. Nice catch by Daniel. First down for Walton, and Walton controlling the clock once again here, Kirk, to start the first half. 9:58 left here in the third quarter. I think I said first half, second half, folks. Counter trap to Joaquin Andre up across the 40. He picks up 8 yards, and he's down to the 35-yard line. You know, the more I watch him run, the more I like to watch Andre.
He did a little stutter step there and took off again. He's fun to watch.
He's deceptively fast.
Yeah, doesn't have the long strides, but tough to get down. He puts his shoulder down. You bounce right off of him.
As you watch the missed tackle, I can hear one of my coaches, you got to keep your head up when you try to tackle. Otherwise, that guy's going to step right through you. So it brings up 2nd down and 2 for the Raiders. The ball at the Roswell 35-yard line. Windler back to pass. He's looking deep. Throws it deep down the middle. That's underthrown. Patrick Cosgrove playing defensive back on that play and knocks it down. They had double coverage on that play.
We were fortunate on that play because there were 2 of them there. One had it, dropped it in the end zone. That's a little underthrown.
You can see on the replay, Joey kind of had to throw that off of his back foot. Nice defense by Patrick. It brings up 3rd down and 2 for the Raiders. 2 tight ends, I formation. Windler with the keeper, and he is brought down after a 1-yard loss. It'll bring up a 4th down and 3 for Walton. Great penetration by the Hornets there on that play. Tyler Zaval on the tackle.
And Roswell smelled that out like they knew it was coming.
The Raiders are going to go for it. 4th down and 3. Confusion with substitutions. Windler's pass throwing wide to the right. The Hornets will take over on downs. It'll be Roswell Hornet ball, 1st down and 10 at their own 36-yard line.
You know, Kurt, we had it rolling there. Had a nice drive going and got stalled without any points.
So number 14, Brian Hickman, the quarterback for Roswell, re-enters the game, which I'm sure is great news for all the Roswell fans. Pitch out wide right to Duval Smith. He's got a big hole. He's got one man to beat, which is Matt LaMontagne. And Matt runs him out of bounds. Great play by Matt. Ball down to the 24-yard line. 42-yard pickup by Duval Smith, and that is not good news if you're a Raider fan.
Well, he broke into the secondary untouched and had a lot of running room ahead of him. And Matt was lucky enough to
power right backfield 4. The Hornets hand off to Smith again. He's got another hole. He picks up 4 or 5 yards, running hard up the middle. Tackle by number 12, Zach Rattlehuber. He picks up 6 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4. Another power I formation. The Hornets going old school on us here. Handoff once again to Smith straight up the middle. He is stopped by the Raiders. Another tackle by Huber for the Raiders. No gain on the play. 3rd down and 4 for the Roswell Hornets. Have a new center in the game right now, number 51, center Joe Turner. A little nicked up on that last play. Okay, guys, here's the cliche. New center in the game. Watch that fumbled snap. Clean. Hickman throws deep downfield to number 80, and it's off the hands of number 80, Chris Boyd. I thought that pass was going to be way overthrown, and Boyd really made some catch-up speed on that, but it just off of his fingertips.
Good coverage by number 20, Jacob Blazer on the play.
Blazer on the coverage, and you can see Jacob had Chris covered the whole way, covered Boyd the whole way. That would have been a heck of a catch. This will be 36 yards by kicker Richie Leone. The holder is Brett Vidal. And that kick is wide left.
He certainly had the leg on it.
Oh, he drilled it. I thought it.
Yeah, from up here, it's hard to tell.
One of the things I've learned is you just don't ask because they just look at you and go, I missed it. So the Raiders survive. I think Kirk, they survived. And they'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 20 again.
Well, you know, what goes around comes around. Look at that long run they had. And we could have given up the touchdown, yet they got no points for it.
You know, Brandon Burroughs was walking down on the sideline with his helmet in his hand because all season he's been wearing a leather jacket. Oh, boy. What could have been. Really great to see him, though, having a chance to dress out in his last home game here as a senior. And I know no one's hurting more than Brandon and probably his mom and dad that he didn't get a chance to play this year as a senior. But, boy, we'll look forward to watching him at Georgia the next few years.
That would have been fun to see him as running back, too.
Well, we're here with 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third quarter. Raiders leading 14-7. Each team with a possession here to start the third quarter. Raiders drove down the field. Bit of a methodical drive, picked up around 40 yards, 45 yards, had to turn the ball over on downs. Roswell with a quick hitter, 42-yard gain on their first play of the third quarter. And they stalled out and then missed a field goal. And the rain and mist has come back. Raider Valley's held up very well, though, folks. I mean, I've seen this field, particularly in the spring when you get weather like this, that it just has a lot of trouble. But this fall, the team is the field's held up quite well. So here we go. 1st down and 10 for the Raiders. Ball at the 20-yard line. 6:50 to go here into the third quarter. Gazebo and Joaquin in the backfield in I formation behind Joey Windler. Braylon Williams left. Patrick Cosgrove right. Handoff to Joaquin. He is stacked up and he's going to lose a yard or two. Third quarter score from Centennial. Centennial 28, Lassiter 28. Not really that surprising, Kirk.
They're a machine. They can throw so quick and score so quick.
And the Raiders lose 2 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down and 12. Andre not finding a lot of running room there on that last play. 3 receivers right. Play action. Rolling right. Windler looking. Almost intercepted. Incomplete. Number 23, Thomas Sexton, almost made a spectacular one-handed interception.
That's a tough throw to make on the run. He's got a quick release, but they had a couple defenders back there too.
The Raiders looking at a 3rd down and 12, ball on their own 18-yard line. Two running backs flanking Windler as he stands in the shotgun. He drops straight back to pass, plenty of time. Cosgrove wide open at the 32, 33-yard line. He's going to have the first down.
Yeah, with his forward progress, he's got it.
That's a big play. That's a huge play.
Joey had some good protection on that play and found Patrick cutting over the middle.
The replay there of the last play where it was tipped away. But now the Raiders take the ball 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line. Yeah, the Raiders, there's lots of motion somewhere. Yeah, we weren't set. They showed up in a bit of a bunch formation, and they just didn't have everybody set, and Joey took a quick snap, and he'll knock the Raiders back 5 yards to their 27-yard line. It'll bring up a 1st down and 15 for Walton. Next week, the Raiders travel to Pope. And then, of course, you've got Roswell traveling to Lassiter. So a couple of big games again in East Cobb in Region 6. Handoff to Andre Joaquin. He's out over the 30-yard line, and he's up to the 34. Number 21 tackle there by DeMarcus Ingram. DeMarcus having a very strong game for Roswell tonight. Yeah, it's a gain of 7. It brings up 2nd down and 8. Windler with the keeper, cuts upfield, tackle immediately. There's a flag, and I think that may be against the Raiders.
Joey's had a tough time tonight with that rollout and taking it upfield. They're ready for him.
Personal foul against the Raiders, and I think that's actually going to be on Joey. I think he was when there was a pile. I think he was trying to kick some Hornets off of him, and the referees took offense to that. Raiders killing themselves with penalties right now, and
you got to keep a cool head. That hurts you.
3rd down and 22 for the Raiders. Ball on their own 19-yard line. I'm glad you're here, Trevor, to count off those yards, because you would think that's an easy thing to do, but it's really hard. Whatever Trevor says, I repeat, like Ron Burgundy here. And the Raiders are going to take a timeout with 4:20 left here in.
I think Joey was signaling a play, and
okay, he was signaling a play. The referee. That was a good call by the ref. I thought he called timeout. 3rd and long. Windler back to pass. Rolls out to his right. He's being chased. Caught by Lipsy in the middle of the field. He's on the ground.
They're looking for a late hit on that one. He was clearly down.
So they pick up 12 that they needed of the 21 or so, and it's going to bring up 4th down and 9. And the replay there, you could see Lipsy catches the ball and was hit immediately. Number 41, Patrick Cosgrove, the kick.
And that drive was killed with 2 penalties.
You get a nice first down, then you jump off sides, and then you have a 15-yard penalty. Cosgrove gets that one barely away. Caught and hit immediately by number 17.
Wes Bailey.
Wes Bailey again, making some big hits on special teams.
Frankly, I don't know how they didn't block that kick.
I don't know how they didn't block it, and I don't know how they didn't fumble it. You can see the replay. Oh. Good tackle by Wes. Timeout on the field. So With 3:20 left here in the third quarter, your score, Walton Raiders 14, Roswell 7. You're watching Raider football on Raider Vision Gamecast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Drew Tutton.
Please. As you well know, this is a make it or break it month for the automotive industry as well as America. But let me tell you, we will make it. Be American, buy American.
What about health care?
I say take care of your health. Otherwise, you can't enjoy 0% financing for 72 months or up to $16,000 off. Only at Ed Bulls Chrysler Dodge Jeep.
At Gas South, comfort is helping you feel at home. Whether you're setting up service for a new home or just looking for a better rate plan to keep a few more bucks in your pocket. And Gas South is committed to delivering outstanding customer service that not only builds your trust, but by being a part of the neighborhood, builds the community as well, which makes life a little more comfortable for everyone. Sign up at gassouth.com today and see how we are committed to your comfort.
Raiders leading the Hornets 14-7. 3:20 left here in the third quarter. During the timeout, it really looked like the Roswell coaching staff was pumping up that Roswell offensive line. I'm sure they want to run that ball, use some clock up here, and get another score. Of course they want to get another score, but first play, about the same position on the field, Kirk. They did a toss sweep to Duval Smith, and Duval went 42 yards. So Raiders defense has hung tough. Let's see if they can do it again. First down and 10, ball at the 37-yard line of the Roswell Hornets.
There you go. That similar play to what they did in first down last series.
Smith Romberg with the big tackle there for the Raiders.
Second down and 13.
Bring up a second down and 13 for the Raiders.
See, when you stop them at a 3-yard loss, that changes the whole game plan on this series.
Smith, the lone setback, he takes a handoff right up the middle, met by the Walton linebackers as he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Lipsy with the first hit, it brings up a 3-yard gain. It'll bring up third down and 10 for the Hornets.
Another big third down.
So it'll be third down and 9 for the Hornets. They did pick up 4 yards on that play. Chris Boyd, the wide receiver, out there by himself, but Bidell in motion, number 1. Hickman rolls out to his right, looks deep, and that ball's going to fall incomplete. That's Shamaria.
It looks like it, yep.
Yep, Justin Shamaria, senior on the cornerback on the coverage, and that brings up another punt for the Roswell Hornets, a 3-and-out. It's really weird how this game has just really lost a lot of its momentum. Both offenses right now, Kirk, trying not to just make a mistake, basically. Williams and Lipsy deep for the Raiders. Leone to punt for the Hornets. Bit of a spinner came off the side of his foot. It goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So the Raiders will take over first and 10 at their own 30.
You know, Kurt, back on that last play, all of our defensive backs seem to be shorter than all these receivers, but I tell you, they play with a lot of heart. And Justin's has been covering up everybody like a blanket.
Well, when you think about great defensive backs, I mean, I know we've had a lot of changes throughout football, but you know, Darrell Green in the Hall of Fame, who played for the Redskins, was 5'9",
yep.
And you know, maybe one of the best, if not the best, cornerback ever. So Andre Joaquin is the lone running back behind Joey Windler. Gazebo in motion. Toss to Joaquin, going to his right, tries to cut it back, and he's going to be held to almost no gain or maybe a short gain. It'll bring up second down and 9 or second down and 10. Roswell's defense is getting upfield a lot, and they're also starting to get some penetration, Kirk.
Yep, and they're, as you can see, they've been stopping us now in these any plays up the middle.
Heavy rain, mist coming down on the field right now.
And they're just Kurt, they're stacking us at the line of scrimmage, trying to stop that run.
Well, that brings up another 3rd down and 10 here. The Raiders struggling to get any offensive momentum right now. Run left, run right. We didn't find any room on either of those. Now we've got a 3rd down and long.
You'd like to be able to dump the ball off over the middle.
Roswell brings in some additional defensive backs, and they're in a bit of a pass defense. 4-man rush, 7 backs getting ready to drop back into coverage. If you're looking for a halftime adjustment, there's one. Good pass protection. Incomplete pass thrown low for Cosgrove. Yep, thrown low for Cosgrove, incomplete, and it brings up a punt situation for the Raiders. And the Raiders go 3 and out after Roswell goes 3 and out. 24 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Both offenses trying to get out of each other's way.
Well, that's one way to look at it. The defenses have both shored up.
You get a feeling right now, Kirk, that another special teams play is going to have a big impact on this game, a block punt or a fumble on a kick or something like that.
And they've been close to blocking our punts, several of them.
Good snap. Cosgrove gets it. It's a high punt, bit of a floater, hits at the 50-yard line, and it's going to roll dead at the 46. So Roswell's going to get terrific field position here with a 1st and 10 at their own 46-yard line.
How long was that punt we had there?
That punt was about 30 yards, 28 yards.
Yeah.
So number 4, J.P. Douglas back in at quarterback. The Hornets line up in a power I with Duval Smith, the deep back. Turn, straight handoff up the middle. Don't grab him around the top of the helmet and get a penalty.
That's Keegan Kiley, too.
Kiley with the tackle, and that'll bring up the end of the 3rd quarter. So, your score after 3, the Walton Raiders 14, Roswell Hornets nothing. We'll be back to Raider Valley in a couple of minutes after these ads from our sponsors.
Any more light? Almost done. One more. See, the CSS guy's doing it, Jeff. I mean, Pete. CSS is right in the middle of it. We're not be running a commercial. All right, here they go crazy.
All right, folks, welcome back to Raider Valley, and it looks like Bob McLeod has survived another Go Bananas.
We're not ready. The guy's still on the field.
I hear Bob down there. He's
still on the field. We got time to finish. Because remember, CSS wants to get this.
while we're waiting here, I got Lassiter now took the lead on Centennial.
35-28.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
All right, so we've got a 2nd down and 11 for the Hornets. Ball at their own 45-yard line. Pass by Douglas over to Boyd. And it's a 1st down. Justin Shamaria with the tackle. That's only Boyd's, I think, 2nd catch tonight. That's a Hornets 1st down as they move into Raider territory. The ball at the 43-yard line of the Raiders. Clock moving with 11:49 left here in the game. Douglas the quarterback, J.P. Douglas the quarterback for the Hornets. Duval Smith the tailback. Reverse coming upfield, number 4. Read well by the Raiders. Great defense, number 48. Brooks Tilley picks up 1 yard. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9 for the Hornets.
And Blazer was there again, along with Brooks.
You know, one thing, Kirk, that has been obvious tonight is the tackling is much, much better this week than it's been in a couple of weeks.
Well, I know Rocky wanted to focus on it, and something must be clicking.
All right, here we go. 2nd down and 9. Power eye backfield behind Douglas. Boyd, your wide receiver to the right. Here's a toss sweep going right. Smith has got lots of room up the middle, and he is going to score a Roswell Hornet touchdown. 42-yard touchdown on a toss sweep. Duval Smith with the touchdown for Roswell.
Well, I'm sorry I jinxed him on that play, Kurt. We talked about tackling.
Well, you know, we had defended that one well, but Smith found that crease, got through that 2nd level, and away he went, right up the middle of the field. So Richie Leone with the point after touchdown that could tie the game here. And it's good. So your score with 10:42 left in the 4th quarter. Roswell Hornets 14, Walton Raiders 14. And I don't know if we're going to get a CSS timeout or not. If we do, we will go ahead and read some of our seniors off. But let's go ahead and look at a replay from the I mean, when you just look at that, it was just well blocked by the Hornets, and the linebacker scraped, but good blocking by the offensive line.
It's a big back with a lot of speed.
We wanted to read off some of the other Raider seniors. We did that in the first half, but here we go. Here's the remainder of our Raider senior football players. Number 17, Wes Bailey, defensive back. Number 20, Jacob Blazer, defensive back. Number 23, Brandon Burrows, defensive end. Number 81, Jeff Cheek, wide receiver. Number 4, Patrick Cosgrove, wide receiver. Number 89, Jacob Issa, linebacker. Number 68, Matt Gilbert, guard. Number 85, Austin Haygood, wide receiver. Number 67, Oliver Kramer, tackle. Number 84, Chris Mooney, defensive end. Number 32, Smith Romberg, linebacker. Number 78, Matt San Nicolas, defensive tackle. Number 56, Jake Sims, offensive line. Number 48, Brooks Tilley, linebacker. Number 1, Braylon Williams, wide receiver. And number 63, Kyle Westman. So unless we have some kind of changes in the playoff picture, the Raiders are probably playing their last home game of the season. This senior class had a 12-2 season as sophomores, a 9-2 season as juniors, and they stand 6-2 right now, tied 14-14 with arguably one of their biggest rivals, with 10:42 left here in the 4th quarter.
And Kurt, we talked earlier about stopping that, not allowing that big play. We've allowed 2 big runs this half. Fortunately, only one of them has been converted.
All right, Richie Leone to do the kickoff. He slipped on his first kickoff to start the second half. LaMontagne and Williams deep to receive for the Raiders. This kick might go out of bounds. Nope, deep into the end zone down the left-hand side, so that'll be a ball that comes out to the 20 for the Raiders. 1st and 10 for the Raiders, ball at their own 20-yard line as Leone's kick went into the left corner of the end zone. Raiders offense needs to sustain something here, and frankly, we just need the touchdown. But it'd be nice if we could shift the field position a little bit too. We've given them some short fields the last couple times that they've had the ball.
Yeah, we seem to be running 3 and throwing 1.
Gazeboy and Joaquin in the backfield behind Joey Windler. Pass to Cosgrove, catches it at the 30, and he's up to the 34-yard line. That's a first down for the Raiders. Cosgrove bobbled it a bit. Number 23, Thomas Sexton, on the tackle for the Hornets.
And that's great to mix it up a little bit. Throwing on first down is a good move.
That's a 14-yard pickup for the Raiders. It'll be first down and 10 at their own 34-yard line.
You got to keep this defense off balance for sure.
Roswell stocking the defensive line for the run. Going to be a counter trap by the Raiders, and it's going to be sniffed out for no gain. That trap play is taking a little bit of time to develop, Kirk, and the penetration that Roswell's getting on the defensive front. They're just waiting for Andre when he comes up.
Well, what they're seeing 2 running backs in the backfield, and they're stacking 6. They're challenging us to run the ball.
So it's second down and 10 for the Raiders. Ball still sitting at their 33-yard line. No gain on that play. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Braylon Williams by himself here on the right. Rodney Gazeboy, the lone setback behind Joey Windler. Short pass to Williams. He stretches out across the 40-yard line, and he picks up almost 7 yards on that play. It'll bring up third down and 3, the ball at the 40. Nice stretch there by Braylon to pick up the extra yardage. Okay, this is one of those moments in a game, Kirk, where you say, this is a big play.
We need it. We need the momentum here.
Yeah, we got to get the first down here. We don't want to have to punt again. Looks like we've got some confusion on this. I think the Raiders took a timeout from the sideline on that play. You could tell as they were getting ready to line up, there was confusion, and I think Coach Allen actually called that timeout from the sideline.
Well, it's a good time to call a timeout on it.
Well, we talked about the fourth quarter a little bit earlier, Kirk, and we said that the Raiders have struggled a little bit in the fourth quarter. Need the momentum here to get this first down. Need to march down the field, frankly, and get a touchdown. We need to make this game a 21-14 game. Right now, offensively, Roswell's had a little bit better of it here in the second half.
In our first 6 games of the year on a third down play like this is when Windler would roll out and do a spin and go upfield. It's either got to be that play, although they've stopped it tonight, or something out in the flat to get those 4 yards.
That's the Raiders' first time out of the second half. They have 2 left with 8:49 left in the fourth quarter and in the game.
They've gone with 1 more down lineman on the line to challenge us on the run this second half.
Yeah, it almost looks like the old Maryland wide tackle 6, which is definitely dating me here. Jerry Claiborne in the wide tackle 6 with Randy White anchoring the defensive line. All right, folks, this is a big play for the Raiders. It's going to bring up third down and 3, the ball at the 40-yard line. Rodney Gazeboy, the lone back. You have 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Roswell looks like they're going to blitz off the backside, coming from the left. Windler drops straight back to pass. He's got Williams perfectly to a nice quick out for a first down. 7-yard gain for Braylon. That was just a beautiful little pitch and catch there, Kirk.
Yep.
So the Raiders have it 1st and 10, ball at the 47-yard line. Back to the I formation. Andre Joaquin is a deep back. He cuts up out over midfield. He'll pick up about 3.5 yards on that play. They're going to put the ball right on the midfield stripe. Sexton, Thomas Sexton, number 23, with a tackle for Roswell. 8 minutes ago, 50 yards from pay dirt for the Raiders.
They've got 5 up on the line this play.
I mean, the penetration's a yard or two deep even before the fullback can even get a chance to make a block. And that takes it back to 3rd down and 10, the ball back on the 47-yard line for the Raiders.
Well, you hate to panic. It's a tie game, but they're not moving the ball like they certainly did in the first half. Obviously a passing down here.
Windler's in the shotgun. And a timeout taken by Coach Barker and the Roswell Hornets. 7:33 left here. It's a 3rd down and 10 for Walton. The ball is on the 47-yard line. You really have to wonder here, Kirk, okay, you know, you want to keep some momentum going now. One thing I will say is we may have switched the field position a little bit, so we are going to force Roswell to maybe to take a long field if we can get a good punt off if we have to punt.
Yeah, you'd like to throw the ball, find a seam here, just over linebacker position, get your 10 yards. We'll see what happens here.
I mean, one thing you've got right now with Roswell, even though Leone missed his field goal, you definitely have a kicker who's, you know, got some confidence of his coach. So in the situations where it looks like it's going to be a 17-14 game, you have to give the edge to Roswell right now. So after the timeout, the Raiders take the ball over again, 3rd down and 10. 7:33 left here in the 4th quarter. Tied 14-14 with Roswell. Roswell in their nickel package. Windler, your quarterback, with Gazebue, your lone blocking back. Windler back to pass. Plenty of time. Now he's flushed out. He's going to run. He's across the 50. He's at the 40. He's at the 35 and down to the 33-yard line with a big 1st down. 17-yard run by Joey Windler on that play.
And Roswell had all his receivers covered, and Joey just tucked the ball away and took off. He's got, I mean, talk about speed. He's got some great speed.
Well, Windler gets the good protection initially, but no one was really open. And he just runs right through the defense. Great speed by Joey. 1st down, ball to 33. Raiders in an I formation. Hands off to Joaquin. Big hole over the 30, up to the 27-yard line. Pickup of 6. 2nd down and 4.
Give the offensive line some credit on that play. They open up a nice hole for him.
That was one of the better pushes that they've had the second half. .6:45 left here in the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 4 for the Raiders. The ball on the 27-yard line. Windler turns and spins, and he is stacked up for a 2-yard loss.
31, 52.
Number 52, Reggie Love. And number 31, Brian Chin on the tackle for Roswell. 3rd down and 5 for the Raiders. I'll tell you, they have really taken that play away here in the second half, Kirk.
That's the same thing I was thinking. I think if they're going to make a play and Windler's going to do it, he's going to have to do it on his own. That planned play just is not working tonight.
Well, you know, one of our long passes was on the play action off of that play, and it'd be interesting to see with them crashing like that. Could we get that done? You're definitely in 4-down territory here. Pass out wide to Cosgrove. He catches it at the 20. That's going to be a 1st down for the Raiders.
And a great tackle there by Roswell, or he would have been gone. Cosgrove's coming off limping.
Yeah, I think he got tackled with a little bit of a helmet or shoulder pad on his shin. He picks up a first down. Really nice pass by Joey to get that pass across the field on that quick out. You've got to have the arm strength to make that pass. Otherwise, that pass turns into 6 points for the defense every time. All right, so the Raiders have first down and 10. Roswell is stacking the defensive line once again. Windler hands off to Joaquin. There's a big hole over the left side. He's at the 10. He hurdles a runner. He is in the end zone for a Walton Raider touchdown. Andre Joaquin with a tremendous run.
We got to see a replay on that hurdle he had there.
Wow.
He is so determined as a runner.
All right, number 44, short and stocky, Robert Newhouse.
Who was the human bowling ball?
He was for the Colts. We'll get a replay after this extra point. This is a huge extra point. Robert Newhouse was a running back for the Cowboys in the 70s. He was number 44. The kick is up, and it is good. Your score with 5:17 left here in the fourth quarter. Walton 21, Roswell 14. And Pete, do we have a replay of that play? I'll tell you what, that was great blocking by Westman, Kramer, Gilbert, the whole offensive line. I know we don't mention them enough, if at all, but that hole opened up immediately on the left side, and then Andre just did the rest.
Yeah, if you looked at that play, Kramer on the left side just blew his man out and sprung him loose.
I think the human bowling ball was Norm Bulash.
That's it, yeah.
And other random thoughts that flow through Kurt Schreiner's mind.
You are showing your age. I just read about it in one of the history books.
Oh, thanks for that. Well, the Raider boys are celebrating doing their push-ups. You know, the big play was on that third down and long. Joey with the long run, then third down and 5, and Joey hits the big outside, and then he just lets Andre take care of the rest of it.
That was a classic Walton drive on it, mixing up from the pass and the runs.
You know, the human bowling ball actually may have been Don Nottingham, but it's either Norm Bulash or Don Nottingham, one of the two.
Well, Lassiter's taken a 42-28 lead over Centennial. That shows you the explosiveness of that team. They obviously made adjustments in the second half.
It's going to be interesting to see how they match up in the playoffs. I mean, Lassiter hasn't gotten the runs in the playoffs I know that they have wanted. And, you know, face it, the playoffs are all about matchups. I mean, the 2 years that Walton has gone to the Dome into the semifinals, you know, there's been some tough games on the road and big games like Valdosta here at home. But and then, you know, you had a matchup last year with Walton playing a number 4 seed at Woodstock, and Woodstock almost beat the eventual champion. So you never know when it comes playoff time. That's why you just got to get in there.
And you got Pope beating Milton 38-7. Is Milton wheels falling off, or is Pope really that strong?
Well, Pope was, you know, severely disappointed there mid-season, so a 38-7 win. You know, the Greyhounds are going to be ready for the Raiders next week. They always are. They haven't had a chance to beat us in a long, long time. All right, Tim Russler to kick off. Looks like he's going to do a short one again. Ball's going to come down around the 20-yard line, and it's picked up by Roswell by number 12. Trying to get outside. He's got a bit of a crease. Cuts back, and he gets it up to the Justin Shamaria with the tackle by the Raiders. 19-yard run, ball at the 39-yard line, and the Roswell Hornets will take over 1st and 10. Ball at their own 39 with 5:09 left here in the fourth quarter.
14 is back in the game.
And number 14, Brian Hickman, the senior quarterback, is back in the game. Power eye. Watch for Duval Smith here. Fake toss sweep. Throws it down the middle. He's got Boyd wide open. Tackle by Shamaria. Chris Boyd catches the ball at the 27-yard line. .33-yard gain for the Hornets. They fake that toss sweep that's been so effective to Duval Smith. Hickman looks down the field, and there was Chris Boyd, his wide receiver, wide open in the middle. Raider defense really needs to make a big stop here. 1st and 10, ball to 27. Here's the toss to Duval Smith, running upfield. He finds a crease. He's at the 10, he's at the 5, and he's brought down at the 2-yard line.
It seems like the same play again, Kurt.
It is.
It's running right off tackle, and he's already in the backfield before they can even make a hit on him.
The big block by their fullback, Umisi, the fullback for the Hornets, taking out the defensive end. It's kind of your classic power toss. Hand off to Smith up the middle. He is in for the Roswell touchdown. Well, that took less than 35 seconds. About 40 seconds for that.
It's a 4-play drive.
Yeah, 4-play drive, 40 seconds. And Roswell lines up for the point after touchdown, which will tie the game at 21. All right, we need the ghost of Rodney Harrison from the 2007 team to block this extra point for us. Almost got it, but it's good. So with 4:29 left here in the fourth quarter, it's Walton 21, Roswell 21. We'll be back after these ads from our sponsors. You're watching Raider Vision Gamecast on Raider TV.
Welcome to Lazy Boy.
I know what's going on here. This furniture, these prices, all this furniture is hot.
Hot?
Come on, kids. Let's go.
It's just a sale. I swear.
Hurry in now for great savings. Comfort, it's what we do. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries.
At Gas South, comfort is helping you feel at home. Whether you're setting up service for a new home or just looking for a better rate plan to keep a few more bucks in your pocket. And Gas South is committed to delivering outstanding customer service that not only builds your trust, but by being a part of the neighborhood, builds the community as well, which makes life a little more comfortable for everyone.
Leone with the kickoff. It is deep and high, and that ball is going to be out of the end zone. There's a flag on the play, and it looks like Roswell is going to be offside, so Leone will have to kick it again. And if he kicks it just like he kicked that one, it won't make much of a difference.
Oh, the luxury of having a great kicker.
So Leone's going to put it on the 35-yard line. You know, it's interesting. The college game has changed so dramatically with moving that kickoff back to the 30-yard line. And now with Leone to take this kick from the 35, the Raiders deep, LaMontagne and Williams. This one's a bit of a line drive, and it will be caught by Williams at the goal line. He's at the 15. He cuts it up to the 20. He's got some running room, and he's out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Just didn't have enough room in the corner to pick up any additional yardage. That's a 23-yard return by Braylon Williams. And it's 1st and 10 Raiders with 4:24 left here in the game. Score tied at 21. Well, kind of a classic Walton and Roswell football game going down to the last minutes. Very tense.
Well, we're looking for a 4-minute Walton drive here.
Yeah, I think 4 minutes and 23 seconds would suit me.
4-3. Run the trap again.
Oh, no. Fumble by the Raiders. Picked up by Roswell. Braylon Williams ran right past the ball. I don't know if he was expecting the pitch or not.
Never saw it.
Seemed like the pitch was behind him.
I don't know if he ever saw the pitch. I mean, Trevor said he just never even saw it. We'll look at the replay. But, you know, the defensive line had such quick penetration on that play. They were holding Joey's jersey. Look at this. Yeah, that play was just not good from the get-go. So the Hornets recover the ball at the 13-yard line with 4 minutes and 19 seconds left, and they are definitely in a position to put the cherry on top of the cake, as they say. Power I, handoff up the middle, number 35, Duval Smith. He's at the 5. He turns down to the 1-yard line. Number 4, J.P. Douglas, is in at quarterback again for the Hornets.
Kurt, I'm surprised we're still staying with 4 down linemen. You think that we know the run's coming.
Well, the replay just shows us that power I, just lots of blocking up front, a big push by the offensive line, and with a running back like Duval Smith, that's 5-6 yards at a minimum, and in this situation, 12-yard gain.
They've only attempted 2 passes this half.
Handoff by Douglas, and that is going to be a Roswell touchdown with 3 minutes and 53 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Roswell goes up 27-21. Boy, the Raider offense has got a big task ahead of them. They're going to have to take this ball down the field after this kickoff and convert a touchdown. Point after touchdown here. It's up. And that kick is good. So, 3 minutes and 53 seconds left here in the game. And it's Roswell 28, Walton 21. And it looks like we're going to stay here live.
Well, Kurt, it was unfortunate. Those things happen. You don't hate to have it happen with 4 minutes left in the game in a critical play. But it's time for Walton to show up on offense here.
Well, with the offense that the Raiders have, they're more than capable of going down the field in 3 minutes and 53 seconds. We saw them go down the field in the first half in 10 seconds. So, this is one of those situations where Coach Hidalgo is obviously going to be anxious to see what his team has got in terms of some mental toughness to convert this challenge into a touchdown. I think the Roswell fans right now are kind of getting ready for Lassiter, and that could be to our advantage. We still have a lot of time here left to go. LaMontagne and Williams deep for the Raiders. Leone with the knuckleball. And that ball is going to go out of bounds, and that's a huge break for the Raiders.
Kickoff goes out of bounds. Raider football first.
Yeah, they've been so effective kicking off, and here they squib it out of bounds. So, big break for Walton.
Leone's kick went out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. And that ball comes out to the 35. Raiders with trips right, 2 receivers to the left. Windler by himself in the shotgun. There's plenty of room to pick and choose here, 5-6 yards at a time, just like that. Braylon Williams on his feet, cuts back upfield. He's at the 40, he's at the 48-yard line. 14-yard gain for the Raiders.
And a great move by Braylon, sprung him loose for an extra 5 yards.
We've got people down from both teams on that play. Williams is down and a Hornet is down. Number 21, DeMarcus Ingram. DeMarcus and Braylon been going at it pretty hard here all game.
21's already got a cast on his left hand, looks like a knee.
Watching that play, Roswell was in that nickel defense, but they were giving the wide receivers 7-8 yards off the line of scrimmage, Kirk. With 3 minutes and 44 seconds left, you've got to go 52 yards. You can take those 6- and 7-yard chunks. Yeah. You've got plenty of time to do that.
Yeah, I like the lineup here. You're spreading everybody out. They can't obviously rush a number of people because we're going to get the ball off and someone will be open. Yeah, both people being, it's like knee injuries or ankles on both the players on that play.
First down, Raiders, football on their own 48.
Raiders take the ball over 1st and 10 at their 52-yard line. There's going to be a holding penalty against the Raiders. 1st and 10 at their own 48, but this one's going to come back with a holding penalty. It's going to bring up 1st down and 20. Oh, that's a killer.
I think they got Oliver Kramer on that one.
Well, the penetration that they're getting on the running plays. Wow, 10 yards from the spot. That takes the ball all the way back to the 33-yard line. Raiders trailing with 3:29 left here, 28-21. Here we go again with the 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Windler by himself in the shotgun. 1st down and forever. Caught by Cosgrove over the middle, back to the original line of scrimmage.
And that was a great fingertip catch, too, by Patrick.
And we've got some Hornets down in the field as well. The clock will stop with 3:08. Well, you can tell both teams are really selling out right now. The players are really, really, really going at it quite hard. Timeout on the field. Replay. We'll see what happened on the hit. I'm not quite sure. Oh, he got hit right in the face mask by one of his own players as he was coming across. So it's 2nd down, and it looks like it's going to be 2nd down and 10 for the Raiders as the Hornets tend to their injured player.
Well, Kurt, they're moving the ball and they're spreading everybody out. Just find the open guy. Sounds so easy, doesn't it?
The good news is the Roswell player is moving. Can't tell who the number is. Sorry about that.
27. 20. Hold on, that's all right. 23.
That's number 23, Thomas Sexton, the senior defensive back for the Hornets. Well, Thomas is back up on his feet. That's a great sign. And
that's 2 defensive backs that are out. Number 3 and number 22 are new to the backfield.
So we've got 2 defensive backs in the game who are new to the game. You can tell by their clean jerseys.
Number 22 and number 3.
Number 22, sophomore Joe Bartlett, and number 3, sophomore Zach Allen. So with 2 sophomore defensive backs back there, Kirk, against our senior wide receivers. I'm sure Coach Allen and Coach Hidalgo picked up on that almost instantly.
We're both sophomores on the same side of the field.
We'll see what they do to this.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Raiders, ball at their own 48-yard line. Windler in the shotgun.
It's like Austin Haygood on the sideline.
Austin Haygood with the catch for the Raiders. Pick up about 3 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 7, ball at the 40. Well, I'll give it 4 yards. 3rd and 7, ball at the 48-yard line. The Raiders are obviously in 4-down territory here. 2 minutes and 29 seconds to go. Clock is running.
Let's test out one of these sophomore defensive backs.
I think we're going to find out right now. Windler in the shotgun, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Drop straight back to pass.
Good catch.
Caught by number 27, Andrew Lipsy. First down, out of bounds. Clock stops, 2:12 to go here in the game. The Raiders trailing by 7 points.
And a good catch, making sure his feet were down before he went out of bounds.
So the Raiders have the ball right now, right at the nose of the ball, just outside the 40-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10. All right, this time we've got Lipsy and Cosgrove wide to the left, which is where we've got the young defensive backs. Chance to take a look downfield here, Joey. Windler drops straight back to pass. He's got some pressure. He steps up into the box. He's going to run. He slips. They'll bring up 2nd down and 10, maybe 2nd down and 11. Clock rolling with 2 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Raiders still in the huddle. And with 2 timeouts left, I believe.
And he had some daylight there and then went laterally and then slipped.
Yeah, it looked like if Joey had just kept going straight up the field, he might have picked up another 6 or 7 yards. He's in the shotgun by himself again, 2 to the left, 3 to the right. 1:35 to go. Boy, we've used up 30 seconds just here in this down, Kirk. Cosgrove over the middle, caught. What a great catch. First down, clock is stopped.
First down.
Let's go, boys. Get up on the line of scrimmage.
Ball at the 29-yard line. 1 minute and 26 seconds left. Clock is started. 1:25, 1:24. All right, guys, a little bit more urgency, perhaps. 1:15 here to go.
Need to call 2 plays at a time here. So mix
and the Raiders going to call timeout because no one knows what's going on right now. Coach Hidalgo is a little disgusted. Let about another 15 seconds go off the clock there. I think that leaves us with, what, 1 timeout, Trevor?
Yes, sir, 1.
So your situation is 1:07 left. Raiders trailing by 7. The ball is on the 29-yard line. It's first down and 10. And we have 1 timeout left. So need to keep the passes probably to the outside unless you can find that seam down the middle. But if they get the first down, Kirk, they've got to get up on the ball and spike it.
Yep, I think you're right. I'm looking down the sidelines. You got Braylon Williams is there, and he's being attended to, so I doubt you'll see him back in.
No, I think Cosgrove's going to be the preferred target here. I'm pretty sure that, and quite frankly, if you just watch some of the replays, Joey is locking in on that wide receiver and just saying, hey, this is where I'm going to go with this. So the Hornets either 1 minute and 7 seconds away from going to the region game against Lassiter undefeated, or the Raiders a minute away from tying this game and perhaps sending it into overtime. Windler straight back to pass in the shotgun. He's got time. Now he's pressured. Throws it deep down the field and knocked out of the hands of Patrick Cosgrove. Number 31, Brian Chin.
And that thing was thrown up, but Patrick was right there. Had two defenders on him and couldn't pull it down.
Well, that'll bring up second down with 59.4 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. Raiders trailing by 7, 29 yards away from pay dirt.
He threw that off his front foot, and it fluttered down there, and I thought for sure it'd be picked off.
I think Patrick had it for a second. Looked like Brian Chin made a great play and knocked the ball out of Cosgrove's hands at the last second. Windler in the shotgun again. Gazebo right next to him. A little bit of a wide snap, but he handles it. He steps upfield. And that's an incomplete pass. Intended for Cosgrove. Third down and 10. Ball at the 29-yard line. 53.2 seconds left to go. Roswell fans on their feet across the way. I would say the Raider fans are pensive.
We're zeroing in on Patrick the whole time, so that's need to mix it up a little bit if we can.
Gotta get the ball snapped here, boys. He's looking deep. He's throwing the ball long into the corner. He's got a man down there. It is caught. Oh, incomplete. Lipsy wasn't able to hold on to the ball. I can't tell. Let's see in the replay here.
I thought he had it here.
I thought he did too. Great defensive play, knocked away by number 3, Zach Allen, the sophomore defensive back.
That would have been spectacular.
Here we are, folks. Fourth down and 10. 45.9 seconds left. Timeout taken on the field by the Hornets.
Both teams have 1 left.
Well, the Raiders have 45 seconds left. So if you get the first down, you don't have to go for it all here, Kirk. You can get the 11-yard play, take the 11-yard play, go spike the ball, and then take your 3 chances maybe into the end zone at that point in time. There's no need to panic and throw one up into the end zone as a Hail Mary, that's for sure.
Yeah, in fact, I'd send somebody long and then try to get that 11 yards.
And we've got one more timeout left anyway. I mean, the overtime situation with the kicking game kind of being what it is a little dicey for the Raiders. So but we'll worry about that when we get to overtime. Hornets fans making a lot of noise. Raider fans chewing on their fingernails. 4th down and 10. Ball at the 29-yard line. Windler in the shotgun. Here we go, folks. This is it. Windler drops straight back. He's got time. That's going to be incomplete pass. Ball looked like it slipped out of his hand.
Yeah, well short.
And the Roswell Hornets, unless something dramatic happens, are going to go away from Raider Valley with a 28-21 victory. 39.3 seconds left, and I'm sure we're going to see the old victory formation here a couple of times. As we mentioned, the Raiders travel to Pope next weekend, Friday night, in what is going to be a very important game now, a game that we never thought it would come to this. One thing I will say here within the last 37 seconds, Raider fans, if you're watching, tomorrow night, the girls volleyball team plays in the state championship against Pope at Marietta High School tomorrow at 7 p.m. So go support the Raider women's volleyball team, 7 o'clock tomorrow night against Pope. Clock winding down with 21 seconds left.
Kurt, Pope is going to be tough. With 3 losses in a row here now, it's how well they respond to it. The crowd there is going to be very excited to go beat Walton.
Well, the Roswell fans are feeling it. It's been a long time since they've won at Raider Valley. Players shake hands, and that's going to do it. So, 000. Roswell 28, Walton 21. You've been watching Roswell versus Walton live on Raider Vision Gamecast. Thank my partner, Kurt Gadabush. Folks, it's probably the last game of the season. Unless we have a home playoff game, we'll see you next year. Go Raiders next week versus the Pope Greyhounds. Good night and have a good weekend.